So there's a bit of a log jam this morning over here. I got here, long drive. Got up here, I'm like, no, that ain't going to work. So, whoop, right across the street.
Yeah.
And just, I'm like, while I'm over there, I might as well get a coffee.
Good cup of coffee there.
Started, the day got off to a weird start. I'm a man that adheres to a routine. I love routine. Mm-hmm. I love it. And today, I went up there, I'm like, uh-oh.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
it doesn't matter your routine.
It
full
got
house?
off. Full house. Yes. Full house. Like,
doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, I don't like your mind.
So here's the thing.
I panic.
I usually get here about 7:10, somewhere in that little 10-minute window. I got here early today. I rolled in about 6:45, so I'm like, I got plenty of time, and then whole day got blown up.
It's busy.
It's right on the spot. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, buddy.
Yeah?
Feeling good. Nice little 3-day week, or not 3-day weekend. Nice little weekend. But I was going to ask you because I don't think we got really. I think you were telling me Friday was going to be your day. You went and you walked early.
Yeah, I did.
Kind of got all ready to go. You got your 10,000 plus steps
I did.
in.
By the way, it's still on my goal, by the way. Remember when I said I wanted to say it out loud? Still on it.
Okay.
Still in play.
You could miss how many days? You can't miss a day?
Not one.
Or you got to
in the month of May.
Up. Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's my goal. We'll see.
You're doing your thing. You said you were going to go out. And then you were eventually going to watch some football, or I'm sorry, some baseball. You're going to go to Long Beach. Right?
Long Beach against Irvine.
Tell us about Friday night. What ended up happening?
So it was a good day. So we finished the show here. It was perfect. It was actually perfect.
Okay.
So Jorge and I started the afternoon. We went downstairs and had a couple of sacalabositas.
Yeah.
Our pal Josh Benfrom from Craft Smoke and Fire joined us.
Perfect.
So we had a couple of beers.
Good living right there.
The only downside to my weekend was what happened immediately after that. It took me nearly 2 hours to drive home, which was a drag. It's a very, very long drive. I literally pulled into my driveway, got out of the car, ran inside, put on a hat, jumped back in the car with my buddy G Fish, and we headed to Joe Joe's in Long Beach. Met my pal Brian there as well. So we're there. Freddie Fresh shows up at Joe Joe's. Listener who called us on Friday. He's the one that put his candidacy for Listener of the Year. Mm-hmm. So he made his candidacy in person. He showed up. We had a couple of beers at Joe Joe's. He joined us. Yeah, okay. We were there for a while, had the sandwich, had the pickled eggs, had the pretzels, the peppers, and a couple of cold beers. Went to watch Long Beach and Irvine. Maybe the worst baseball game I've ever seen in my life. Certainly top 5.
What was the final score?
Low or high?
It was. We left at the end of the 8th inning. It was 13-2.
What?
Yeah.
I'll give you a worse.
It was. Go ahead.
Tokyo Dome 0-0 through 12 innings.
I don't know. At least
they called it.
Calling it's kind of weird, but at least 0. Anything could happen. Somebody could have hit a home run and walked it off. This game was over halfway through the 3rd inning. It was. But they have cold beer at Blair Field, too. Yeah, so we watched the game, bad baseball game, went home, called it a night, woke up the next morning, felt great.
It's great.
It was wonderful. It was a wonderful start to the day.
You were very excited about it. On Friday, I could just hear it in your voice.
Joe Joe's has 29-degree beer, Slee. 29-degree.
I already walked out.
It was pretty good.
Did you have a thermometer out that you put into the beer?
That's how they market it. I don't know if it's actually true, but that's
it's 40 degrees. You leave.
Yeah, I know. This feels like 33.6.
They give you a free beer. It's a little too warm.
Damn, they give me so much beer. It's a big goblet.
That's a perfect.
Near freezing.
Chilled.
It's pretty good.
Beer.
And credit to Long Beach State because whoever packed their coolers or their tap lines did it correctly. Okay. Cold. Right. Cold. It's a great night. How about you? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. I think I mentioned to you I was there Padres Dodgers yesterday, so spent basically most of the day just outdoor. Can I just say this? What's better than listen, if it's a Saturday game and they don't have too many Saturday day games, but at least you have Sunday to you got nothing going on, what's better than a day game? What's better than weather?
A night game.
Weather. Not yesterday.
Yeah.
Not if it's a little cold.
Not that weather. That weather yesterday is perfect weather. I know what you're talking about. In July, I don't know if you want to be sitting out in the bleachers, something along those lines.
It looked pretty nice, other than the fact the Dodgers couldn't score any runs.
But if the weather's good,
it looked nice.
That's just perfect.
I like a late evening I like a late afternoon into the evening.
Like a 5 o'clock start, like a Sunday night baseball start?
It's perfect because you end and you see the sunset or whatever, but it's not too hot. That's my ideal.
Dodgers couldn't score. You brought him. You brought him no good luck.
Needed that win.
Yeah.
Dodgers have 180 wins banked.
Yeah.
They're fine. They're going to win the division by 37 games.
You were at the game yesterday, so you obviously didn't get a chance to see it on
Stressed as hell.
TV. Oral did when Oral called us and told everybody that we're friends, which we are. He did his. The Dodgers have not swung the bat well the last week or so. He's like, Joe, they're going to lose 60
50 or
games. They're
60
going to lose
games,
60.
yeah.
That means they're going to win 100 because just one of those days.
I don't think it means. The only time I think it means something for the Dodgers, sweeping the Braves, I thought that was very impressive. You might not care because it's May or whatever it is. I thought it was very impressive.
Yeah.
Every other series, maybe against Philadelphia, you can put some stakes in. Maybe if they're playing the American League and there's some top teams there. But I think for every other team that plays the Dodgers, it's like the most important series. And if you can get 2 of 3, you think
I
like
understand
you
why-
accomplished the most.
I get it.
The biggest thing in the world.
I get why beating them is a big deal.
And it shouldn't be in May,
Yeah.
but I think for the Padres, you're just trying to literally stay over 500.
What'd you get to eat?
Did a brisket sandwich.
Okay.
They got.
That can go one of two ways.
It's actually really good.
Okay.
Okay. They do this, and I think I don't know how much they do this at Dodger Stadium, but in San Diego, it's a big thing that they do. They got all these local restaurants, local breweries, so that's a big part of what they're doing. So when you're out there, I didn't end up having a hot dog in that. Just got one of their brisket sandwiches that they have, and this is a place that has a couple locations in San Diego. Does Dodger Stadium, is it predominantly that as well? Do they got a lot of the local?
Some, not
No?
much.
Okay.
Not much.
I just feel like it's like a station for
Yeah.
chicken tenders, a station
Right.
for Shake Shack, a station
That's
for all
about-
this stuff.
They
Like
got
it's-
that
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But they go through a stretch, if you're on that main concourse, where it's just
You're talking about in the
basically-
outfield?
This is actually, no, this is, I want to say, down the third base line. There's
Oh, okay,
an area
yeah,
there where
yeah.
it's just basically all local. So, anyways, to
Was
answer
it
your
dry?
question,
Because brisket sandwiches can be good, but brisket can get very dried out.
I was surprised because what can you really expect from a ballpark? It was actually a really good brisket sandwich. It was not dry at all. Got a couple
Dry rub or sauced?
dry rub, and then you pick which sauce that you want.
Okay.
There's spicy, or they had the spicy / smoky sauce, which I
Yeah.
liked. But they also have something that's a little bit more sweet.
Did you get a pretzel, and was there cheese involved?
No pretzel.
What?
No pretzel and cheese. No
Ladies
pretzel and
need-
cheese.
Because you
Slee
didn't
needs
want to
to
risk it
redeem
again, or you just decided you filled up on the brisket sandwich?
Filled up on the brisket sandwich.
All right.
Yeah, there was no pretzel and cheese. Only did one beer. Didn't go crazy.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of.
It's all right.
Now,
I mean,
granted,
it
I have to
costs
drive.
$1,000, so I can understand how you
No,
probably
the
only
prices
get one
are
beer.
the prices are crazy. Do you even look at a ballpark? Like
It's
I don't
like
even
going
look
to
anymore.
It's like going to Vegas.
Or the airport.
The airport is another good
Oh, yeah,
movie
airport's a
theater.
good example.
There are places where you just go, okay, I know I'm going to get robbed, and it's just
Movie theater's a good
I'm
example.
going to lean into it because otherwise it's going to ruin the experience.
Topo Chico, $6.
That's not bad at all.
A Topo Chico?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
a
you're talking about the
spiked-
water or the alcohol?
Just the water.
Okay,
just
okay.
the water.
That's that's a
no.
little different. Okay.
Alcohol. The beer was 16. I think
Oh, yeah,
16
that's pretty good.
That is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
Something
pretty
along
par
those
for the
lines?
course if you're going to get like a non-specialty beer. Like you can get those at Dodger Stadium for like $16.
You made me think I was a cheap ass for a second. I'm like,
No,
Topo
when you
Chico
said
for $6.
I thought you
I'm
meant like
I,
a Topo Chico hard seltzer.
I just started adding all the I'm like, you know how many cases I could have just got at. I don't know if your brain works that way.
That's what I do.
But
when
my
I go
brain starts working that. But again, I'm gonna go back to it. There's literally nothing you could do at a ballpark. So it's just a matter of just scan it.
There you go. There
a
you go.
little bit of
There
a
you go.
tip.
Give it to me.
Call
Give
it
it
a
to me.
day.
Give it to me. Yep. You can't even think twice about it, or
Nothing
else
you can do about
it
it.
gets miserable. Roars to you, Em. How are you feeling?
I'm good, actually. I think this weekend, maybe into a new woman. I think that on Friday, I obviously was a pretty
Go on.
downtrodden / a little
Yeah, you're a little-
antsy
little
on
grumpy.
Friday.
I didn't
but
notice it. I didn't notice it.
Not at all. I was par for the course for you. No, I was par for the course, not you. But over the weekend, I unpacked my last box. I am fully
It's
Oh,
moved
you
amazing
in.
did.
to me. How long ago did you move in? A month?
2 weeks ago, and I had most of everything done the first weekend. But during the week, I was a little busy, and I just kind of wanted to chilling at home. And so I hung up a bunch of stuff. All I need is a couple more items here and there that are a little pricier that I'm gonna
And
wait.
your place is decorated and everything else?
Yeah.
Did
only
your
big
roommate
thing-
have any input on that, Esteban?
Yeah, he helped me. He kind of helped. I had most of the things.
He had an idea. She said no.
I had most of the things ahead of time, so I just used him to help me visualize where we wanted to put everything. But yeah, no, it's great. It's going well. I also kind of had the experience that I feel like a lot of our listeners have when they get an Ask Slee on air, and now I'm going to take that with a lot more, thought when I pick out who. So I listened to this podcast, and they had a mailbag, and I submitted a question, and they read it.
No way.
And I felt like, oh my
Which
God.
podcast?
The Big Picture. It's one of the Ringers movie
I know
podcasts,
it.
and so I love The Big Picture, and they read it. Oh, this is from Emily, and I'm like, oh my God, Emily.
What was your question?
Well, to bore people here, but it's about the Paramount sale and how it affects the franchises that Paramount owns, including Transformers and Mission Impossible. So either way,
I love that you submitted a question. That puts a smile on my face.
yeah, and I was really happy that I got viewed and stuff. And so I know Andy Kamenitsky is a loyal listener of that. And so when I heard my name, I texted him. I was like, I got used for the mailbag. It's very cool. So
if hypothetically you put in a question for Ask Slee, we'll read it.
Okay.
We'll put it in there. We'll add it.
This is from Emily in LA Live.
Emily in LA Live.
Yeah,
Hey,
but a good weekend.
Did AK text you back?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, because I haven't heard from that guy. I sent him something because we're Sons of Anarchy fans. Me and him.
Oh.
Or at least I thought we shared
He
something.
ghosted you?
What the
He
hell,
ghosted
AK?
me. Come on, AK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes me a lot better.
Bad
I
guy.
guess so.
Bad
He
guy.
also texted me about how he watched Iron Claw for the first time over the weekend, and he just raved about it because he's
movie.
talked for a long time about how he was waiting for the story to be told.
Yeah.
And he was really nervous about it at first, but like it was perfect to him, or at least close to perfect for him.
I need to see it when I'm in my feels already because I don't want to go in and see a sad movie when I'm in a good mood. That's
See it
just
on
gonna
Father's Day.
Well, no, I'm going to be in a good mood on Father's
Yeah, that's
Day
true. That's
theoretically.
true. Yeah, hopefully.
Theoretically. Buenos dias to you, Jorge.
Buenos dias.
How was your weekend?
It was good. Yeah, spent time with Brenda's folks and then with my folks. Got to talk with Brandon, my brother. He's 18. He's about to graduate. He was talking about prom and how is it just everything coming to an end, you know?
Yeah.
Does he have like a color scheme for prom? Like, is he excited
No,
about prom?
they went to prom already. It was
Oh,
at
okay.
Universal Studios.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
When is high school done? When is the calendar year done?
You know what? It's changed because when I was in school, it would be over in June.
We graduated
Yeah.
like second week of June. Michael
Yeah.
graduates in 2 weeks.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing. My brother
Yeah.
graduates next week.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's earlier.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But they start August.
Early. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
Because I
pushed
was
it
getting
back.
my own prom like reminders on Facebook, like, oh, X amount of years ago, this is your prom, and I was like, oh my God, my hair was looking crazy.
Yeah. We talked about this on Friday, actually, right? We kind of briefly talked about it. We should share our prom stories when we,
I got a couple.
you know.
I feel like I know
sprinkle
your
them.
prom story. You've told it before.
Susan right now is saying no, but we'll.
She's reaching for her phone to call you. in the
Yeah,
middle of the
don't
show.
you dare tell that story. We'll see. We'll see if we could do that. The Dodgers lost 2 out of 3. The Dodgers are not hitting well. Whatever, that'll come around. There is something that might not. That's next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Didn't get to play that very much this weekend. 2 or 3.
I played it.
You just screamed San Diego instead of L.A. We love it. The
Slam
Coronado
Diego
Bridge.
love.
We love it. Balboa Pier. We love it.
Slam Diego love.
California burritos. We love it.
Had one yesterday.
Those are pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
They are pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
We have something that could potentially be a crisis. I don't. It's not an official crisis, but I would like to at least put it out as a potential crisis. Did you guys see the pictures making their way around the interwebs about the potential Dodger City Connect jerseys that may be headed our way?
What do they look like?
Looks like a strawberry Pop-Tart.
What?
They look great.
Look at the jersey and blow up the picture. There's little flecks of color all and like
Yeah,
confetti.
No, they're sprinkles.
They
That's
look
what
like
they are.
It's funfetti.
Honestly, they're sprinkles.
Look
I
at a
really-
strawberry Pop-Tart, and the frosting and the little sprinkles that are on that is what this Dodger jersey looks like. It's got a Los Angeles font that looks nothing like a Los Angeles font. It's in 2 colors that are neither of which are Dodger blue. It's got a LAD on the sleeve, which is a combination of their 2 logos that actually make both of them look worse.
The D looks more like the Disney D than it
It
does
does.
the Dodger D.
It does. And it's got sleeve piping that is red, black, and blue. This is the worst looking thing and I'm hoping this is one of those, hey, put it out there and let's see what people say. And unanimously, everybody goes, oh, those are terrible, and we never actually get it.
And then it has a hashtag. It's time for Dodger baseball.
Yep.
Like,
on the
yeah.
bottom, like the tail of the shirt tail, the ITFDB.
Oh,
That's why I think it's real. That's why I think
The little hashtag.
I think this is.
I mean, have you
It's
seen
the
what
real
Nike's
deal
been
here.
doing lately? I mean, they messed up the jerseys already, and so I think
This
they could
is
do anything.
Awful. Like, I get it. The City Connect is supposed to be
Different.
a lot different than
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
typically do. That the Los Dodgers jerseys that they've done for the last few years aren't, I mean, they're obviously very different because they're blue, but they're not, the Dodgers looks the same, the red number looks the same. It's Dodger.
Well,
it looks like a Dodger jersey.
Tell me what you would.
This looks like
Don't say everything. Don't say everything. What would you change?
everything. There's not one thing on it that's good. The confetti is terrible.
Yeah.
Torre just showed it to me. The way that Los Angeles is written on the front looks like the DirecTV logo.
it does.
It does.
It looks exactly like the DirecTV logo.
Could this be viral marketing for Jerry Seinfeld's new movie Unfrosted on Netflix? Like, honestly,
Could
this
be.
could be viral
Could be.
for that strawberry Pop-Tart.
This is dreadful. Why the Los Angeles is blue, gray,
All right.
and black, and it's
I'm gonna
just
I'm
what
gonna
the
ask.
hell?
I'm gonna ask Jorge on this
Yeah.
one because I think no matter what they did, you are such a traditionalist when it comes to. I think one of the things you like most about the Dodgers, they kind of don't really change stuff, right?
They don't need to.
This is who we are. This is this, and there's a few franchises that do that. The Lakers, for example, they've been nothing like completely crazy, but they obviously have a lot of different jerseys. I would say that they're not going to go do what the Atlanta Hawks are going to do, but they've been pretty, let's try something different. Awful to you, this jersey?
It is. It
Okay.
is. If you ask me what I would change, I would make them black. Blue letters, little hints of red here and there, like for the number, at least the number. Black because we have the Kings that are black jerseys, LAFC who's black jerseys, the Lakers alternate uniform are black jerseys. If you put black with some
Black
of the
Mamba.
yeah, exactly. If you put something black with like the Dodgers colors in it, it'll work, at least for me.
This is an abomination.
And it'll still sell a lot of jerseys.
I'm not, yes, I concede that they will sell. I concede that people that collect jerseys and want to have, I get that you could probably slap Otani on a grocery bag and people are going to want to buy that. I understand all of this. That's hideous. It looks like a birthday cake. A strawberry Pop-Tart. It looks like somebody that just figured out how to do a graphic design program in 8th grade put this thing
It's
together.
their passion. Come on.
You said that during the break, you're like, this is why Dave Roberts has to go.
It's just bad. Like it has to have some connectivity to the region or to their history, and this has neither.
Breaking news. They're going to hand these out in a Pop-Tart shaped box. That's how they're going to.
Maybe
You get 3 in a box, just like a Pop-Tart.
Maybe there'll be some explanation from Nike and Fanatics if this is the jersey
hope
that they
not.
choose, that they'll say, hey, this is why specifically, because the flecks of like color on Hollywood Boulevard, something like that.
As I zoom in on it too, like there's a line that's kind of running through the word Los Angeles that starts at the bottom of the L on
Goes all the
Los
way.
and then
Yep.
goes to the top of the S on Angeles. What
It was
is
an
that?
accident. That was actually an accident. They didn't know that they had that line drawn.
Yeah, Nike do better. Dodgers do better. This is the Yankees would never let something like this happen.
It's a cruel joke.
It's
It's not April Fool's. It's past.
yeah, I was gonna say it looks like they dropped frosting sugar in the
You know
box
what?
and just leave it.
You know when you like do this with a pen? You
Yeah.
see 'em, I don't know. What
Jackson
you call this.
Pollock. It looks
That's
like a
exactly what you do.
bad Jackson Pollock painting.
They took paint
Yeah.
and just sprayed it.
It's bothering me. Look, if this means that Otani gets back sooner than later, it's all good. He missed the game yesterday. He came out of the game on Saturday, a little back tightness. And this is the benefit of having, I think they already have a 6.5 game lead in the division or something like that. They're going to make the playoffs. They can be super cautious with all this stuff. Otani, I was thinking about you yesterday. Yesterday, Otani doesn't even play. Why not sit him down, right? If they got to sit him down tonight in San Francisco, this is one of those, you feel good? Yeah, I feel good. You sure? Yeah. Okay, take another day off and we'll play tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just keep kicking that can down the road.
Yeah, well, there's this is the luxury that the Dodgers have. Now, if you're looking past the NL West and you're saying, okay, where do they stack up in the rest of the NL? There's still plenty of games left. We'll see how much, Philly, Atlanta, all these other teams, what they do the rest of the year. But this is a luxury that they have. Literally, and I'll just use it because it's an example. The Chicago Cubs, the Padres, the Mets, these teams don't have luxuries. They're everything you can to just try to get into the postseason. The Dodgers in 50 games will be up 10 games or so in the division, and that's how it's going to go. Don't take a chance on it.
He's playing so well. I guess I was like, he had an off day earlier this season. He had a bad night the night before he struck out 3 times. They said, let's just get your head together. And he went on a tear ever since. So maybe a little bit of a break will kind of reset him. I'm not worried about him at all as long as he gets healthy and he's back to come. I don't know if I would say the same thing about Walker Buehler. It's been 2 starts. He hasn't pitched in 2 years. So all of this is predicated on just the acknowledgement that he has not pitched to major league hitters in 2 years.
The pressure's on.
It's going to take some time.
It should take some time. That's the right. I'm with you on that.
Dave was saying, give him 5 or 6 starts. And Walker Buehler's saying, look, if I've been doing this 5 or 6 and I'm still looking like this, then we got a problem. He just doesn't look sharp at all. And it's not even that, okay, it's not sharp. There aren't even glimpses of sharp along the way. This outing against the Padres, when he pitched against the Marlins last week, it's like, okay, the Marlins stink, whatever. But it was, Padres are a lot better than the Marlins, and it looked a lot like it did against him. Gave up a couple of home runs. He couldn't get anybody to punch out. He couldn't get a lot of swinging. Other than that slider he threw to Tatis, he really
in a big spot.
He didn't have any of that stuff to where, okay, I'm in a little trouble here. I'm just going to power my way through this. I'm going to strike some guys out. I'm going to get some pop-ups. A lot of contact. He wasn't able to finish anybody off. He barely went into the 4th innings. 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks in 3 1/3 innings. That's not good. And again, there's a long way to go, but you have to at least start, okay, if he looks like this, what's the next move?
Can I ask a question? Because I think, by the way, there were runners on base. Bullpen came in, so kind of saved him. He could have easily gave up 4 or 5 runs.
Easy.
Isn't this kind of what you were expecting? Like, I'm trying to think, what were the expectations for Walker Buehler coming in? If his name wasn't Walker Buehler and it was a different player that's coming back from 2 Tommy Johns, you can pick any name, make up a name. Joe Smith comes back from 2 Tommy Johns. I don't think there's any expectations. I think it's, hey, take your time. I think it's, hey, give this guy a couple of months to kind of figure some stuff out. And maybe this is me being too favorable towards a pitcher coming back from 2 Tommy Johns. I think it's the fact that his name is Walker Buehler, that there is, even him, you can hear him in the post-game comments feeling some pressure. He said, like you said, 5 or 6 games, give me 5 or 6 starts, And then after that, if I'm still, and he talked about he's optimistic about where he's at, but even after 5 or 6 starts, then you can start kind of saying the whole, I'm just happy to be here. That's going to get old. That's going to go away. But what do you expect from him? That's the only thing I'll take away. I don't know if anybody was expecting something different. He was out of baseball for 22 months. I listened to the Padres broadcast yesterday, and they said, I think it was yesterday. They said something that was so crazy. They said that Walker Buehler was 10-0 against the Padres coming into yesterday's game from what he's done in the past. Do you know the last time he pitched against the Padres?
1986.
2021.
Yeah.
And that just kind of hit me like, oh my gosh, this guy's been away from the game for so long.
And that's a fair way to look at it. But you asked an important question. What do I expect to see from him? I'll tell you next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. What I expect to see is a bunch of wins in Prize Picks, Slee, because Prize Picks, you pick more or less on the statistical projections. You like Otani, you can pick more or less. You like Mookie, you can pick more or less. Freddie Freeman, you can pick more or less. Pick between 2 and 6 players on Prize Picks, and you can win up to 25 times your money. And it's not just baseball. It's the NBA playoffs. It's the NHL playoffs, and before too long, it's football out.
Here's the good news, too. Prize Picks offers injury insurance so that your lineup stay in play even if one of your players gets injured this basketball season. I got a couple picks for tonight. Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics, more or less than 24.5 points. Darius Garland of the Cleveland Cavaliers, more or less than 15.5 points. Okay, maybe you're a Laker fan out there. All right, now you can actually watch a game with some skin in the game, even though that your team's not playing. It certainly makes it fun. Download the app today. Use the code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
I don't
Great
know.
question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
Promise that you'll never find another like me.
This is her best song, right, Em?
Yeah, her best song ever. Only next to the Alchemy and So High School to Travis too. You're just a huge fan
Isn't
of that.
this the one in the credit card commercial?
It is.
The older credit card commercial, yes.
Yeah.
The one from 2019.
Sure.
5 years ago.
It's the one I associate with the credit card. The one where they're pouring the wine and it's
Same here,
overflowing.
No, actually, it's not that one.
It's not that one?
one is, I want to say that might be Antihero. That's in the background
This
of that
is the
one.
one where she's in the elevator. There's a bunch of Taylor Swifts with her.
No, that's
Is that a different one?
that one happened right after midnight. So they had a midnight song on this. The Capital One commercial you're thinking about with this one, I think, is the one where she's working at a counter, like a dairy counter.
Oh, like a
with
soda
milkshake.
fountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's doing that.
I really wish you could have seen, because for those of
No, I
you
see
that are
her.
not watching on YouTube, Jorge's back is to Emily.
Yeah.
So maybe you could see her through the cameras and
Reflections
everything.
and stuff. Yeah.
I thought her eyes might pop out of her head.
Come
She eye rolled you
on.
so hard when you said that.
Don't exaggerate.
It's when she's
Come on.
cloned and she's in different,
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought they were all
Small
the
thing
same
about
commercial.
this again while we're on the subject of her. She was in Paris. She did 4 days in Paris this past weekend.
I heard her outfits were all the rage.
Yeah, new outfits because she added the most recent album to the set list. But 5 times more people are traveling from the U.S. to see Taylor Swift's Eras Tour in Paris than projected number of U.S. spectators for the 2024 Olympics. I don't say I believe that. People are going from United States because they couldn't get tickets. They want to make an adventure out of going to see her in Paris. More people are going from USA to Paris for Taylor Swift than for the Olympics.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because the Olympics, right? Okay, first of all, the Olympics are coming
Who's
here.
the audience right now for the Olympics? Like,
That's exactly right.
I mean,
think
I'm
that-
excited for the Olympics. I'm going to watch it.
But you might be.
I think you're in the minority.
I'm
Yeah,
also not going to spend a bunch of money to go to Paris. To
Right.
see
You're
the
not.
Olympics,
But
yeah.
if somebody was saying to themselves, "Wait a minute," so this isn't, I guess, too far from like a sporting event, right? That I could go watch my team and I get to go sit in whatever city it is, something like that. I'm sure somebody's saying to themselves, "Wait, we go to Paris. We've never been to Paris. We're in Europe. We go to." Spend some time in Europe, and I get to see Taylor Swift like
Yeah.
that. You can make a trip
And
out
you
of
could
that.
see velodrome cycling. That's what I mean. Like the
Yeah.
Olympics are the Olympic events outside of basketball. That might be the whole list. Are niche, right? That if you're a track and field person, you're probably European to begin with, or you're a very select group of track and field fans here. If you are a swimming person like you are, Em, I know there are swim fans here, but it's not like I'm going to travel the world following the swim circuit.
No, I think the biggest draw still is gymnastics, I think.
Could be.
Because it's the one that we know the main person. We know Simone.
Yep.
And so I think that she is the most well-known Olympic athlete that will go compete over in Paris this summer. But a couple of my friends are going to go see Taylor Swift in various different countries. Some are going to like Amsterdam. Some are going to Paris, London, all over the place. So, it's kind of, if you like her and you want to make a trip and have it be one of the spots, I think it's cool.
Have you been to Paris?
I have.
And?
Man, I was like 21.
Okay.
So it was a while back, and I didn't spend that much time. I was basically.
How long were you there for?
I was backpacking through Europe, so I hit 6 countries up in a month.
Okay.
So
Few days?
everywhere you went, you were there for a couple of days, and then you were gone.
Yeah. Did you have a favorable recollection or not? It doesn't sound like
Of
it.
Paris?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful,
What?
but there were other places that were better. Nice which
Okay.
is coastal.
That's on the coast, yeah.
Beautiful, unbelievable. But again, like 20 plus years ago, and I really didn't get to. I didn't really get to spend enough time there, but my experience was good. I would need to go back to really enjoy it.
Was it like Ratatouille?
Yeah, well, Gaston. Was that his name? No, Gaston's the bad guy in
Beauty
and the Beast. What's the
Gusteau.
Gusteau is the
Anyone-
food critic, and
Right.
then the Remy is the ratatouille.
And Anton Ego's the bad guy.
Ego's the critic, yeah.
Yeah.
Gusteau
Ego's
is
the
the cook.
Yes, the one that has the rat in his hair.
I want to go to Paris. It's on my list of places I want to go. I'll never go because Santa Barbara's closer.
Yeah.
But
Hey.
I do want to go.
Just go
Santa
to a
Barbara,
French
Paris.
restaurant around town. You're good.
Yeah, I
you
go.
They have a
French
tower
cuisine.
in Vegas. Yeah.
I've been there. I've seen that. Kind of,
Same thing.
Hopefully, the real one's a little more impressive. So you were asking, Slee, what do you want to see from Buehler at this point? I think what Dave Roberts is saying, right? I think we can't lose sight of the fact that he hasn't pitched in a couple of years. All of that is true. What I would like to see, I'm not looking for precision to where he's just wiping guys out. I'm not looking for peak Buehler like when they won the World Series in 2020 when he was at the absolute top of his game. I'm not looking for that yet. What I'm looking for right now that I'm not seeing is swing and miss. The Major League Baseball right now is all about swing and miss. That pitchers need to be able to get guys to swing and miss. And right now, he's not getting that. He got one swing and miss on a fastball yesterday. One.
I think it was the third inning. Maybe it's the second inning. Players were tattooing. See the catch Muncy made?
Yeah.
See the play I think Rojas made at second. I want to say it was Rojas.
The one up the middle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Two really good defensive plays. You kind of, if you're Walker Buehler, you're saying to yourself, wow, those were great plays.
I'm dodging bullets.
But you're also saying to yourself, all right, these guys are hitting it on the button. They just happen to be hitting it at somebody.
You're going to have to get swing and miss in Major League Baseball right now, or really soft contact, and he was getting neither, right? And Walker Buehler was all about swing and miss. That ride on his fastball that he was so good at for so long, you'd see guys swing right through that over and over again because the ball just would stay on that level. It was in 97, 98. His velocity, surprisingly, is pretty good. He is at 96, 97. The velocity is there. The location is not. The ride is not. The swing and miss is not. And when you can't get guys to miss, there's something missing there. And I don't know if it's movement. I don't know if it's just his location isn't quite where it needs to be. Maybe it's a combination of the two. Again, it's been 2 years since he pitched. Well, what's one of the big things that's changed over the last 2 years? Sticky stuff, right? That they've gone from where everybody kind of just wink, wink, nudge, nudge, whether it was pine tar, spider tack, or whatever it was, every pitcher was kind of using something or other on the baseball to help them spin it and to grip it. Well, that's mostly gone for the most part. And in that time, that's when Buehler's been down. How much does that have to affect into it? That there's all these different things. The game changed. The pitch clock. This is the first time he's pitching with a pitch clock. This is new for him. There's a lot of variables for him.
Doesn't that give him a longer leash because of all this?
Sure it does. But at the same time, it also could be something that has changed that's not going to go back the other way and that he's not going to be able to he's got to pitch for the bag this summer. Like he's a free agent at the end of this. And there's a lot of things. And if it doesn't come together, we know that Glasnow he looked amazing again. Even though he didn't win, he was terrific.
Yeah,
we know
gave
that
up one hit.
Yamamoto has looked really, really good. You're going to have to find another guy, whether that's Buehler, whether that's Kershaw, whether that's May, whether that's Miller, whether Sheehan comes back, whether Gavin Stone develops into the pitcher. You're going to have to find a third person out of that group because I don't think it's going to be Paxton. The way Buehler's going so far, he doesn't look like he's ready to step in that role. There's 3 months before you really have to make a decision. But that's, I think, where if you're a Dodger fan looking towards the postseason, who is that third guy? Glasnow, Yamamoto, and who's next? And right now, Buehler is not the guy.
Let me play this out because I think there's a little bit of what's the timetable. So let's say we're sitting here a month from now and not that much has changed with Buehler. Let's see, actually, let's put it this way. Let's say Buehler has a good start. He goes 5 innings, gives up 2 runs, but his stuff looks better. It looks like he's more in command. Looks like there are some swings and misses. But then he has a couple starts after that. Well, it's kind of back to the same thing. I'm just curious, at what point, what does it look like if we're sitting here a month from now and he still has more struggles than upside? What do they do? Is
he healthy?
He's healthy.
Keep it rolling.
Okay.
Keep pitching him.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I hate the fact or the
Keep
idea.
pitching him.
I hate the fact or idea that he's kind of pitching for his life right now. I don't think that's.
There's two things are happening simultaneously. He's pitching for his career. He's pitching for the bag. He's pitching for the free agent dollars that were probably, we're talking couple $100 million in front of him too. You might have to do a 1-year kind of show me situation because usually 2 years after this thing is when you start to feel, or 2 pitching years after it. So there's the Walker Buehler portion of it. There's a second option, which is the Dodger portion of it, which is we got to find our third guy. Maybe it's him, maybe it's not. Then there's we've got to figure this out, right? The Dodgers are so all in. This can't be hey, we're just going to carry him and keep riding. As long as they have a 7-game lead, they can keep running him out there because there's no really harm in it.
They got margin for error.
They've got a huge margin for error. But as you get closer, I got to start figuring out who my 3 guys are. And If I got 2, now the good news is there's 5 or 6 candidates for that third spot. But if he's healthy a month from now and he still looks more or less like this, I think what you say is give it another month. Now, if he's not healthy, if the velo drops, that's a totally different thing. But
We're just assuming he's healthy.
If he's still throwing hard and just not sharp, and you're still winning 65% of your games or whatever they are, 62% of the games, roll him out there again.
Yeah.
Roll him out there again until it's like I just don't have the luxury of using you, which is probably towards the end of September, early October. It's like, listen, man, we gave it 5 months. It's not there.
Part is completely fair. That's not the. I think it was if you felt like this guy's basically pitching for his opportunities with the Dodgers.
Not yet.
If you get to a stage where it's like, hey, there's nothing personal here. It's just business. We got to go win games. That's a different story.
Do you package him as something else? Do you package him as a reliever? Do you package him as something else?
Not if he's not getting swing and misses. No way.
Yeah, you're right.
No,
so he would just be cut?
No, you just don't. Again, you put together your roster. He would make the team because you never know what's going to happen, right? You could be a situation where you need an inning in the middle of a game that you didn't expect you're going to need. I can't imagine he wasn't a part of that. But that doesn't mean it's game 3. It's 1-1.
No.
You get the ball.
It also changes what they potentially do at the trade deadline. Like this is also going to give them some time to figure that out as well.
Ask Slee coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Hey, guys, it's Sedano. Sliwa, it's time, like we do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10:45. Let's get to it. Ask Slee right now.
877-710-ESPN. That's the number if you want to call in and do an Ask Slee. Of course, you can send it to me at Travis Rogers, to Emily at Emily Hebel, to Jorge at JabCamLA. Al, dealer's choice, phone or Twitter?
Let's go phone.
Let's go phone. Let's go to Glendale and Tim. Tim, what do you got?
Hey, Slee, I was just wondering, are you a one fry at a guy time, or do you bunch them up? And second, have you ever been the defense sign holding guy at a game?
Thank you,
Okay.
Tim.
Defense.
Thank you, Tim. First question was one fry.
One fry at a
or-
time, or you take
yeah.
3 or 4.
I start with one, and then I lose a little of my. How do I put it? Not patience isn't the
Discipline?
right word.
Willpower?
Discipline. Yeah, discipline. So then it goes from like get kind of one real quick, and then next thing it's like, okay, that was really good. But what if I get 2 or 3, and now I'm dipping it in with the ketchup and kind of come in? I'm not going to go more than 3 is probably the most that I'm going to do.
Does it matter what type? Like if you go to McDonald's fries, they're long
Yeah.
and skinny, right?
Yeah.
If you go to like
I'm talking more that. Those
yeah.
kinds of fries are the
Del
ones that I'm
Taco's
getting.
got the crinkle cut, and they're a little fatter, and 1 at a time, maybe 2 is the right amount.
I think it does. I think the fry does matter.
I think so
Chick-fil-A
too.
has waffle fries.
I was going to
Yeah.
say waffle cup fries. I can't do 3 of those. I've been
Yeah.
stacking
No,
up.
that's like
stacking
eating a whole potato.
sandwich.
Chick-fil-A fries are such a joke sometimes because you only get like a couple.
You get, like, 4
fries.
fries
There's
in
just
a
so
whole
much
cup.
air because the waffle fry component of it. So I think if I had like as many fries as I wanted, I love those fries, but you don't get enough.
There's certain people that I respect their discipline of like, I take 1 fry, I dip it in, I eat it, and then I like chew it. There's 14 bites that get in, and then I go in for the second. I can't mentally do that.
That's one of
can't
those
mentally
tricks
do
that
that.
somebody was like, oh, you know what a good way to lose weight is?
Yeah.
What now?
Yeah.
And it's, oh, no. So whenever you take a bite of food, make sure that you chew it 12 times before you swallow the food. I'm
I
like,
had-
stop.
I had a burrito.
Exactly.
I had a burrito last night, basically driving back up from San Diego, and there's a good place called the Taco Stand, and they got a few locations.
Was it at
Really
9
good
p.m.?
spot. It was about 8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, close.
But you were in San Diego earlier for the game.
Yeah. Yes. I see where you're going here. Lake Arrowhead. Okay, got it. But, bro, the burritos are good size.
Yeah.
This is a big burrito. Like, at times I'm looking, I could tell Michelle's looking at me like, you're an animal. You know, she just gets 2 tacos. She's taking her time. I'm like going to his burrito like somebody's going to take it.
It's the right way to do it.
Can't
What
even
if somebody
breathe.
came to
Can't
take
even
it?
enjoy it.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
The enjoyment is in knowing it's. I almost said something terrible. The enjoyment is in knowing that you just ate it and it's sitting like a cannonball in your stomach.
Yeah.
Right. That's where the true pleasure comes from. Not from actually tasting it while you're eating it. That's for suckers.
It is.
All right. Optimus Prime Rib. My spouse spends way too much on Starbucks. She goes 3 or 4 times a week. Even though we have coffee at home every morning, it adds up. Do I bring it up or is this a losing battle? Hashtag Ask Slee.
All right, I'm a perfect example of this. I used to go to Starbucks every single morning. I would grab a cup of coffee, a cup of Joe, and I'd be on my way to work. Started making some coffee in the morning at home. First off, kind of like a nice little experience of making coffee. I know it's nothing crazy, but you grind up the beans. If you go buy from whatever, Trader Joe's, Sprouts, you get that bag of coffee. Go to Costco. Costco's got great coffee. They'll sell it. There's actually a little bit of the smelling the coffee in the morning, the experience of making the coffee. I know it sounds so small and stupid. Then you put it in your own coffee mug. I think he should say something. And I think you'll actually have a much better experience with coffee than going to Starbucks.
If you lay it out, but his, I don't think his point is that it's better or worse coffee. It's the economic impact
okay, so the
of it.
financial of it as well.
Yeah.
The financial is just a benefit of being more responsible. You know what he should do? He should start making his wife coffee in the morning to get her accustomed to it, and then she'll probably enjoy his coffee better than Starbucks.
Do the math. And not in like an aggressive way, but let's workshop this. Hey, honey, look, I know you love your Starbucks. I love it too. I want to get it every day. But if we don't get it, this is how much money we're going to save every week, every month. And at the end of the year, we're going to have an extra $600. Think of what we could do with $600. We could take a trip. We could do, you know what I mean? Like we could, like
buy a coffee machine.
If
Get
you
your nails done. You feel me?
whatever it is, right? You kind of present. If she goes, no, I love Starbucks, then you just say,
Okay,
cool,
here's
go
the
get your
issue.
Starbucks.
Here's the only issue. You drink a simple cup of coffee. So do I. What if she's getting this special kind of coffee from Starbucks
Most
that you
likely.
just can't make at home?
Most likely.
Yeah.
You probably have to get an espresso like me, and then you can make all those fancy things, but it still doesn't taste as good as Starbucks. sometimes.
Hooray.
I'm a Keurig person myself. I like those little K-cups.
Yep.
So that gets me through the day. This one's from Cap from Whittier. If you...
I don't think Em likes those.
You think I care? Who cares?
Who cares?
It's my coffee. I'm drinking it, not her. Anyway, if you can... Cap from Whittier says, if you could compete in the Olympics, what event would you be good at? What would you choose?
Well, first off, I wouldn't be good at anything.
Archery.
What event would I choose?
Badminton.
Badminton's like freakishly athletic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like those guys are so fast.
Nothing in water. We all know that. Get that out of
Okay.
the way.
Do you have any foot speed?
I think
No.
No. Okay, so tracks out.
I need something that's like hand-eye coordination. And I don't
Darts?
have to move.
Archery.
It's going to have to be. That's going to be my only shot. It's got to be.
What about shooting?
Clay shooting. There's one in Rosemead.
Yeah. Like,
Okay, I have a better chance at something like what I need
Skateboarding.
is I don't move,
Yeah.
right? And whether it's archery or it's the shooting or whatever the case is,
Speedwalking.
that at least gives me kind of a shot. I'm gonna get demolished on it, but now I don't. It doesn't have to be a physical thing. I'm pretty good with hand-eye coordination.
Let's
So-
assume that you could just snap your fingers. You're going to win a gold medal in whatever you want. I'm taking basketball off the board. What do you want?
What do I want?
You're going to win it. You are the world's best at
Yeah.
blank. It's we all have this, right? I mean, it's
Is
not the one
is
that.
it 100 meter
Yeah.
that's the most popular
Yeah.
of all
the
the
fastest man in the world.
Yeah,
if
it's
you win the
100
100
seconds.
meters, you're the fastest
100
man in
meter.
the world.
Yeah, it's 100 meter.
Yeah, that's the right one.
What about decathlete? That'd be kind of cool. You're like, I'm the best at all these things.
It is, but it doesn't have the cachet of fastest man.
Yeah, we
alive.
just think of that
Yeah.
that the pop of the gun, those guys go for X amount of seconds and everybody watches that whether you're a fan of track or
I
field
want
or
them to
not.
take whatever they want to take, and I want to see if somebody can run it in 6 seconds. Because now we're like in the low 9s. Let's get weird with it. Let's see how fast we can go. Another phone call. Long Beach and Leon. Leon, you're on with Trav, or you're on for Ask Slee. What's up?
Leon.
Hey, how you doing? Love the show.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask Lee, if you hear a song, when you hear a song on the radio, do you try to sing along in your own voice, or do you try to sing along in the artist's voice?
Did you go
Great
British?
question.
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah, when you rap. for
I
instance.
sound so stupid if I'm trying to be like them or in their voice. So I can't do that, right? So you're almost like just like an undertone of singing it. Because even in your car, if your windows are down or something like that, I'm not trying to let somebody next to me hear that I'm singing this song because it's my voice.
X
right?
gonna give it to you.
Right. That's a perfect example. So I'm basically just singing my voice, and I'm not trying
Like,
to be.
do you put a
I'm not
twang?
trying to be Shania Twain.
Like if you're singing like Dolly Parton, are you gonna sing like 9?
It's
9,
hard
2, 5?
not to. Right,
Yeah.
because you know the song the way you know the song, and whoever the artist is, whether it's
Hip hop's a good example.
accent
Yeah.
from another language or a southern accent or whatever, you're going to
Or
kind
just
of
a genre of music sometimes has its
Like
own
country roads, you can't
accent.
not sing that with a bit of an accent.
right. Or you get somebody that has like a high voice, right? They can hit those higher notes. I can't hit a high note to save my life. Right. I can't. I'm not doing Michael Jackson as Michael
Oh, but
Jackson.
in our car, we are Michael Jackson. We are hitting those high notes. In the shower, in the car, man,
I love that one. I love that one. One more, Slee. What's the best frozen food item? Ice and ice cream do not count. Hashtag Ask Slee. It's from Ivan in Monrovia.
Ivan.
Best frozen food item.
Frozen pizza. There's
Trader Joe's always has the bomb.
Trader Joe's kills it with everything, and for the most part, they kill it with all that stuff. I'll actually go frozen pizza. Frozen pizza is, I think it's a little kind of, I get it. It's a little, why don't you just go get a fresh pizza? Why doesn't somebody just come and, deliver fresh pizza? But frozen pizza, put it in the oven. You don't have to do anything. There's a certain crisp to it that comes. It's 20 minutes in the oven. You don't have to do anything. Get it out and.
But by the time you order a pizza from a pizza place to the time you preheat the oven and put it in, it's about the same. And
You're not
and the
wrong.
pizza place pizza, even if it's the worst pizza ever,
Do you like
is
Trader
better
Joe's
than a
frozen
frozen
pizza?
I do have
too.
a certain pizza from Trader Joe's that I like. It's the 3 cheese. It's got like the wood-fired
blend.
stuff.
Yeah.
3 cheese blend. Great. But
here's the only difference with what you just said and a Trader Joe's. How much do you think that pizza is?
$22.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, really? $8?
Yeah, it's like literally. I was gonna say it's probably between $8 and $10.
The correct answer are those BB Go pot stickers.
those are fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Okay, mine is mozzarella sticks.
Those are good, too.
Hand to God, I went through an entire box this weekend.
So, how do you prepare your frozen mozzarella sticks? This
air
is
fry.
important. Okay, that's a very good option. Have you ever gone to the trouble of actually deep frying them?
Yes.
I don't have a deep fryer.
I have a deep fryer.
So you can just use a little pot.
I don't mess with deep frying.
Okay. I'm just saying it's.
I'm afraid of catching my house on
well,
fire.
don't do that. Just don't do that, dude. Be careful. when you do
Tostinos,
it.
pizza rolls.
Those
Dog.
molten hot.
Yeah, I was gonna say
molten hot.
my upper is already burnt.
Cool them off, man.
I don't know how people ever had a hot pocket without burning
Oh,
their
my God.
entire mouth.
The Lakers are going to do it, aren't they? They're
Probably.
really
Probably.
going to do it.
Yeah.
That's next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. I'm going to say that now to make myself sound like I'm a well-read person. Cardinal directions.
Yeah.
Not like how to get to Busch Stadium.
And this is also what I'm so bad at. You know, when everyone asks, "Oh, did you go east, west?" Like, I don't know. I went right.
Susan goes up and down, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I went up, and then I went up, up.
But
up.
you know
Our
what
airplanes
she meant.
are up. No,
You know
I
what she-
don't.
Yes, you do. She went north
No, why is that north?
because it's up. It's the
But
top of the cardinal direction.
It's up if you're facing the dead center of the equator looking north, it's up.
It's always up.
No, it's
Up
not.
is always north.
If I'm facing
Can't
east,
convince me of this.
up is meaningless.
Yeah, no, it is. It's north. You go up the freeway to Santa Barbara.
No,
You go forward.
you go left or right,
Yep.
or you go north,
Straight
south,
or
east, or
back.
west.
Yep.
Those are the things. If you said I went right on Olympic Boulevard, I know what that means. If you said I went west on Olympic Boulevard, I know what that
only
means. If
up
you
is
said you
I
went up Olympic Boulevard, which direction are you going?
You went up. You said
north.
I went
It
up
runs
the hill.
east-west.
Okay, then I went whatever direction you think up is. Put yourself in my shoes, and you'll know where I went.
Oh, my gosh. This is going to happen, and I'm deeply, deeply conflicted. Brian Windhorst is here talking about Bronny James. Bronny James passed his medicals, and he is cleared to enter the NBA draft, cleared to play in the NBA draft, get selected in the NBA draft. And here's Brian Windhorst talking about where this may all shake out.
Over the last few months, Rich Paul, who's the agent for LeBron and Bronny James, has made an effort to part the concept that drafting Bronny James means you're getting LeBron. I do believe LeBron is going to opt out of his contract next month, and I do believe he's got several reasons why he wants to do that, and leaving optionality for playing with Bronny is on the list, but I don't think it's at the top. I do think he's going to be back with the Lakers. And I also will say this. I think if the Lakers have an opportunity to draft Bronny James, they will do so. Whether that's with the 55th pick or if they make another deal around the draft where they pick up another pick, I think they will try. I do not think it's going to be their top priority. And I don't think the league right now is looking at this as draft Bronny James and you can get LeBron. I do think the league wants to hear from Bronny this week at the draft combine because nobody has heard from Bronny. LeBron has been his voice throughout his career, and the scouts believe that Bronny played out of position this year, and they think he actually might be better than what he's shown. So we're going to learn a lot more about Bronny in the next few days, the next week or two, and then we're going to have a better chance to assess exactly what might happen.
Okay, there's a lot in there, and I think the most important part to me is that drafting LeBron James Jr. is not going to be the thing that pulls LeBron James somewhere else. Like if, I don't know, take your pick, Charlotte drafts him, he's not going to end up in Charlotte because, I want to play with my kid. That's probably way down the list of reasons to take him. LeBron would like to play with him. The Lakers are interested in drafting him. The Lakers have a late round second pick, 55, right? They have the 55th pick in the draft. There's only 60 picks.
I think this year even only like 58 for some reason. Okay.
They're going to do it, aren't they? They're going to do it. That all of the indications are LeBron is coming back to the Lakers. He'll opt out. They'll redo his deal one way or the other. That no one else is really going to be desperate to take him because he's not like a super high-ranking prospect or somebody that you're going to slide into your organization and play right away. He's a developmental piece. The Lakers have a pick towards the back end of the second round that is more often than not used for a developmental player. They're going to do it. I can't decide if I love it or I'm horrified by it, but they're going to do it.
I'm not saying the Lakers can't multitask. I'm not saying that they're not able to do a few things at once. But think about where this should be of the conversation for this upcoming year. And I get it. Bron's, he's got an option, and it is Bronny James, and the fact that he's publicly said he wants to play with him, the fact that stories were coming out 17 seconds after the Lakers were eliminated from the Denver Nuggets, Shams had put it out and said that Lakers interested in drafting Bron. I get that they're going to accommodate to him, but Lakers don't have a head coach. We have no idea who the coach is going to be. Clearly, they don't have a roster that can compete for a championship. Not can you make it to the playoffs? Can you win a round? Can you compete for a championship? There's conversations about 3 first-rounders potentially going out to go try to get a player. And the conversation that we're having, and I get it, and this is a conversation that is around the Laker circles right now, is about Bronny James, who will have zero impact on your team this upcoming year and potentially ever, because we have no idea if he's a good basketball player or not. We just know that he is the son of LeBron James. Yes, it is going to happen.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is going to happen.
I know.
It's my roundabout way of telling you how unimportant it is and that it will happen.
Well, it's not unimportant. It's unimportant for the reasons that you laid out. It's unimportant for whether it's going to impact winning or losing. I agree with you that it is them. If they take him, they don't win more. If they take him, they don't win less. I think it has nothing to do with that. Their win total next year will be independent of whether or not they select LeBron James Jr. Where it is important is I think it speaks to where they are as an organization, where it speaks to where they are as far as their priority goes in trying to figure out what comes next. And their priority has been for a very long time, and I'm not even saying it's the wrong priority, but I'm saying it is simply service the LeBron James account. The business is LeBron James for the time being. That if LeBron James likes it, they love it. If he wants it, we're going to get it done for you. That it speaks to that. Because if it were just a basketball pick, they're not doing that. But it's another brick in the wall to, hey, listen, we're going to do what he wants to be extended. Yep. We're going to extend him. We want a different coach. Who do you want? Mm-hmm. You want us to take your kid? Got it. Like it's just another indicator that whatever LeBron James would like, LeBron James is going to get. And right now, where they are, where the rest of the West is, the players that are likely available to shake loose, I don't even think it's a bad plan because it doesn't affect the winning and losing.
Hypothetically, and I know this is not the case, but LeBron should not be doing what he's doing at age 39. He just shouldn't. It's never happened in the history of basketball for somebody to be still this effective at this stage of his career. There are times that we were talking about in the playoffs against Denver where, there are moments where it's like he's the best player on the floor.
Yeah.
I know Jokic is there, Jamal's doing his thing,
sure.
But there are moments like that. If LeBron James wasn't, let's say he's 39 years old and cut his numbers all in half. So instead of 25 points a game, he's giving you 13 points a game. Instead of 8 rebounds a game, he's giving you 4. Instead of 8 assists, he's giving you 4. So he's 13, 4, and 4. But he's still box office. You know that if he's in your arena, you're going to make the money. People are going to come out. They want to see one of the greatest to ever do it. It's LeBron James. How much different do you think they'd be treating this moment?
Not at all. Not at all.
It's just basketball.
And I'll use this as an example. And I know this is a little blasphemous. They gave Kobe that sweetheart deal, the golden parachute deal, long after he was Kobe Bryant. Mm-hmm. The best version of Kobe. And again, Kobe,
big difference there.
Of course there is. Mm-hmm. But my point is that their best guy at any given time, and Kobe obviously is, him and Magic are kind of in a category of their own, but LeBron is their best guy, and they want their reputation to be, we take care of our best guy, we take care of our super mega duper super duper stars, and we get them what they want, and even if his production is a fraction of what it used to be, we're
now,
still going to do it.
I'm speaking out of my ass because his production is still very, very good, but what I'm saying, the reason why I set it up that way for you is that tells me that basketball is secondary. So when we talk about Bronny, basketball is secondary. That the basketball is not the priority.
I don't know about that, Al, because is there somebody they're going to draft?
You just said 13, 4, and 4.
Yeah, but is there somebody you're going to draft at 55 that's going to all of a sudden change the way your organization is on the court? I don't think so. I mean, maybe 1 in a million you find exactly the right guy at that point. But it's exceedingly unlikely that player impacts your organization one way or the other.
But that player that you're drafting is purely for entertainment purposes. Purely for entertainment.
Yeah.
There's not a basketball reason for it.
Okay.
At least just off of what. If I told you Bronny James is going back to college because he wants another year.
Join a fraternity
yes. He wants to get another full year under his belt. He wants to get another full year under his belt, and then he wants to try to help his draft class for next year. And then maybe if he does that, he can become more of a this is a potential late first round or something along those lines. I know what you're saying okay, but what's the 55th pick anyways? It's not that big of a deal, right? I get that.
Yeah,
I get
that's
that concept
kind
of
of
it.
where I keep landing
I get that
on
concept of it. But drafting Bronny has nothing to do with basketball. All it has to do with we're just accommodating to LeBron James. And maybe that's the basketball part of it. We want to keep LeBron happy.
Right.
And if LeBron is happy, then LeBron stays a Laker, and that is the basketball portion of it.
It's making sure your best, most important player is happy as possible. That's what the basketball portion of it is. I'm not saying that he scores points. It's, hey, he wants it. This is throwaway is such an aggressive term, but it's a throwaway pick 99.5% of the time. That the guy that gets picked 55th is not going to impact this team. Mm-hmm. LeBron's going to impact this team, and if he wants it and it makes him happier, it makes him feel a certain way.
Yeah,
what's the harm in it? And that's where I land.
And
it'll be great theater.
Here's what the front office is going to have to try to juggle, because I'm of the mindset that the perception that you're giving off by drafting Bronny is it's not really about basketball.
What's the perception they're giving off right now?
So here's what I was going to say. you're going to have a group of Laker fans that are always going to say, and this is just what the franchise has built. There's only a few franchises that can actually say this. Can you compete for a championship next year? Isn't the Laker brand supposed to be all about winning, this, that? What they're going to have to try to juggle this upcoming year is if you draft Bronny and you give LeBron James that 3-year extension for $150 plus, if you potentially go out there and shop your 3 picks, you do all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
What's the priority of we're doing everything to win versus we're doing everything to take care of one player?
Yeah,
and can the two merge?
No, that's the thing. They're in no man's land, and drafting Bronny doesn't prevent those other things from happening.
Drafting Bronny gives off a perception that all you're trying to do is just accommodate to LeBron.
Right. What's the harm in that? Which is
the perception.
But it doesn't prevent them from making any real basketball moves. The 55th pick isn't going to change anything.
Then why get rid of all your late second rounders anyways? You don't need them anyways.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, if the choice was get rid of all my second rounders to make sure LeBron James gets what he needs, okay.
But that's my point. My point is
but it's not affecting your team at all.
Even if your late second rounder that's not really where you grab somebody and you eventually have a guy that becomes a big impact player. It's just purely the perception of Ron, you want your son, we're going to bring your son.
I want to come back and do this because I want to know what you think the perception of that group of individuals that's making the decisions now is today without that pick. We'll do that when we come back. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Rollo Chevrolet. 13 years in a row. 13 years in a row of taking care of business, of taking care of you, of making sure that you are the most important person on that lot. And that's why they've won it 13 years in a row. Dealer of the Year. That's what they've done at Rollo Chevrolet. So if you've been thinking about a Silverado, if you've been thinking about any Chevy car truck, you got to get yourself out to Rollo. It's right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. I've been going through this for a couple of years now, right? I've had a bunch of different Silverados that we've had through Rollo Chevrolet. I've bought other cars at Rollo Chevrolet. I've gone through the financing. I've gone through every part of the Rollo process, and I got to tell you, it's like nothing I've ever experienced. Everything about it is courteous, upfront, and transparent, and you feel good about it. When's the last time you could say that about buying a car or a truck? Go find out for yourself what all the fun's about at Rollo Chevrolet. Right there in Fontana, 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. You can't miss it. And if you're thinking, Fontana's a little far for me, get online, RotoloChevy.com, ROTOLO, RotoloChevy.com, and tell them that Travis sent you.
LA Live on 710 ESPN.
That you're moving on the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind.
You got to sing this with the accent.
Though the wheat fields and the
I don't know the song, but
Gentle on my mind.
Remember what Key used to say?
Glenn
Key,
Campbell.
I'm driving to Kentucky right now. I'm going over. Remember Key used to say this every time country music came on?
Keyshawn singing country songs could be its own Sirius XM channel.
Exactly.
It's pretty great.
And well, same for me singing rap songs. That's gonna give it to you.
You're a rapper.
That commercial is on nonstop. I think it's an Acura commercial. X gonna give it to you. X gonna give it to you. And all I'm hearing is your voice saying that. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. How about the Hawks getting? By the way, they're pissed, right? Like this is the year we couldn't have got it last year, when Wembanyama swings everything. You get a. This is the one year where if you read 10 different mock drafts, there's 10 different guys going in that number one spot. And they're all like European players or guys that you've never heard of. This is the 3% chance. I want to say it's the first time they've had the top pick in 39 years. It's been forever since they've drafted number one overall. And it's a year where everybody's like, yeah, I don't know. Cool.
You know what's so crazy about, hell, we're watching in the playoffs now, and I know we've been reminded of it 55 times. Jokic was a second-round pick, right?
Taco Bell commercial.
We're not going to know. First off, I'm not watching enough college. You're not watching enough college. Nor are the players there long enough to really kind of have an idea what the hell's going on.
Doesn't sound like they're the guys going near the top. It sounds like it's international.
So this is what I was going to say. We're going to look back 5 years on this draft, and there's going to be guys that went 8th, 14th, 22nd. And you're like, damn, that guy's an all-star. How the hell do you know? And I think there's going to be, and this draft is a perfect example because there isn't that one player or whatever else. Do you remember this? Was it Scoot that was taken second last year?
Yeah.
Think about the difference between 1 and 2.
And the guy that went third had a much better year than the guy that
Brandon Miller.
Think
about, and it happens in every single draft, but you just got to get lucky for that franchise.
But there are some people that do. There's a huge part of luck. I'm with you on that. But go back to when the Lakers acquired Kobe Bryant. Remember, it was one of these, hey, listen, we're going to trade you Vlade because
an all-star.
Jerry West knew, hey, it's that kid right there.
Mm-hmm.
No one else is on it yet, but it's that kid there. He knew it, and he knew that he's waiting around. There are similar stories about Kawhi Leonard where, hey, listen, if he's still there, we'll take him, we'll do this deal. But if he's not there, we're out on the deal.
That's Manu Ginobili. That's Tony Parker.
It's Jerry West. It's being able to say, it's him. Sure. It's him. Give me that guy. I don't know if the Hawks have that guy. I don't know who that guy is right now. Anybody can say Wembanyama. He's 9 feet tall. He can dribble. He can shoot. Okay, give me him.
But
who's the guy that picked Anthony Bennett? Who's the guy that took Michael Olokandi? You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many misses in this. And in a year where there's nobody good, I shouldn't say nobody good. There's not a clear-cut number one. Yeah. It's just it's a crapshoot. Wouldn't you rather pick 5th or 6th and just say, who's in there? Give me him. We'll see what happens. Because if you pick a guy number 1 and he's just a guy or worse than that, then you're the guy that took Kwame Brown. You're the guy that took Michael Olokandi or Anthony Bennett. You did that as opposed to, hey, look, we fell into Klay Thompson at 11. Or Giannis at 14 or whatever it is.
3% chance for them to get it, and they got it.
But that's not the year you want it. Can I save my 3%? Can I kick the can down the road? Can I pick first 2 years from now? Detroit was picking like 5th. And they had the worst team in the league. It's a weird deal.
Yeah.
I like the way they do it now with the kind of giving, I think it's equal odds or just maybe the odds are a little bit different top 1 through 4, right? So even if you tank, you're not guaranteed that you're going to get the
You
number
get
one
the
pick.
same as the 4th guy.
Yeah, it's a 14%, something like that, whatever that percentage is.
So I want to go back to something you were saying a second ago. You're talking about how if the Lakers do in fact decide to draft LeBron James Jr. with the 55th pick, that it's kind of an indicator that winning basketball is not necessarily their priority. That continuing the LeBron James show is the priority.
Can I just say that in their mind, that is part of winning basketball to them. Because it is accommodating to LeBron James, and that they have to their path that they believe of being relevant and staying a part of the conversation. I'm not talking about part of the conversation of winning a championship, because nobody's looking at the Lakers right now and saying that's a serious threat.
Yep.
But relevant, are you, by the time you get to March, are you in the mix of making the playoffs?
Doesn't LeBron guarantee you you're at least in the mix? He has for 21 years.
Well, they missed the playoffs twice, but I know there were some circumstances. As a Laker, there's been some circumstances, but they've missed the playoffs twice.
Yeah, but they've been relevant the entire. Other than maybe the first year with all the young guys, they've been relevant.
They were relevant then too. Relevant, I think, is a different description. I do think they believe LeBron is their best path.
I think they're right about that.
I think they believe LeBron is their best path.
Do you think that's not true?
No, I do think LeBron's the best path, but I also don't like that they think they hold zero leverage. That I think the idea and the concept, we talked about this right when they were eliminated. Okay, if you offer him a 2-year deal, not a 3-year deal, where do you think he's going? You think he's going somewhere?
You don't
draft Bronny James at 55 because there's somebody else that you identified there at 55.
That's going to make that big of a difference?
Listen, let me just play out a scenario real quick, okay? Let's say there was a freaking dude that was injured during college.
Yeah.
That kept kind of falling back because of his injuries. And they said, this guy should be a first rounder. I'm making up a story. This guy should be a first rounder. But because he was injured, this is why he fell back. And you know what? Let's just try to grab this guy because we don't know if he doesn't go drafted, another team can get him, blah, blah, blah. They want him at 55. I'm just saying that making a decision based on basketball, I don't think LeBron's going to go anywhere if you don't draft Bronny or if you don't give him a
probably
3-year
not.
deal.
I don't think he's going to go anywhere, but I don't think that drafting LeBron James Jr. or drafting someone not LeBron James Jr. is an indicator that they're more or less serious about winning. This is what they do. They are star blankers. You know what I mean? This is what they do. They take care of their very best guys. Right, and that means that we're going to take care of him, and I don't think that using a pick on a player that's a borderline candidate at best is, we don't care about winning. I think it's just, this is what we do. It doesn't change my perception of them at all. It's kind of more of the same thing.
If it was, I'm curious where it would change your perception. What if they had the 35th pick, not the 55th? Does that change anything to you?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
And you still get real players. Basically, you still got a shot at getting a real player. First off, there are guys that don't even get drafted that become real players.
Let's say it was 35th. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's say it was, and they still did it. I'm not saying, what are they doing? They don't care about winning at all. Their best chance to win, whatever the ceiling of that is with LeBron. If they want to keep him happy, keep him happy.
You can care about winning and also do the wrong thing. The Lakers care about winning. That doesn't mean they're doing the right thing.
No, they haven't done the right thing in a while.
So I think we might both be saying the same thing, but
you said that you think that drafting him indicates that they're not serious about basketball.
That's
what you said.
Yeah, it gives off a perception that, well, we're just getting this guy because it's LeBron's son. We're just getting this guy from an entertainment perspective. And I get it. It's number 55 pick. It still gives off a perception of, so you're not going to go try to find a player that you feel like is the right player for your team. You're just basically grabbing this guy because he's Bronny, who has proved to nobody that he should probably even be in this draft.
I'm with you on that. He's not the guy that you would take because he's earned the spot. But if I have to take care of my guy, I'm going to do whatever I can, especially if the cost is so low. What's the harm?
Maybe they got lucky, too, that it is 55. Because I couldn't disagree
Maybe
more.
They can move up.
I couldn't disagree more about the 35.
Again, I know that there are good players that land in different spots, but
listen,
I'm taking care of LeBron.
Jalen Hood-Schifino was taken at 17.
Yeah.
That's a first round.
Didn't work out so great, at least not so far.
First year was awful. So it's a guarantee even if you take him.
They're going to do what they've always done. They're going to take care of the top of the pyramid, and they'll figure it out after that. And then if the top of the pyramid wants something different,
when you say they, do you mean the current
ownership?
The current front office.
Yeah.
Okay.
Genie, Rob.
Because I don't think that's the case. Even though the Lakers have been, we got to go get stars. Front office is a lot different in the past. Front office in the past.
15 years ago?
I'm talking about, yes, you go and go get stars.
How far back are we going? Because since Genie's taken
Jerry
over,
Buss,
it's been a while, and that's 10 years.
I know, but when you said that the priority is winning and they go, it's the entertainment, they go get stars. Dr. Jerry Buss was able to juggle both things at the same time.
He was.
And he's also the greatest to ever do it. So
he was. Since then, they've not been able to thread that needle. And it's not easy to do, but they've missed more than they've hit. Factor Caps coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Sedano and Cap for your
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys.
Aloha.
How's it going? Good? Okay,
Aloha.
great. Amazing.
Muy bien.
Yeah, aloha.
I was waiting for a response back.
I gave you one.
You said aloha. That's not.
She said, "How we doing?" And then we all went
wonderful.
silent.
Yeah, muy bien.
Anyway, all right. So over the weekend, so
Aloha.
Buenos dias.
for
I'm doing
listeners to the show, I've been into the Premier League this year. This is the very first time that I've watched one team through the entirety of the season.
You're Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal is my favorite team. And because my friends are huge Arsenal fans, and it kind of rubbed off on me. And if I have no other stake in the game, I'm going to choose what my friends like so that I can be a part of going to stuff with them. And I saw their Manchester United game in September that was amazing. And so I'm like, okay, I'm bought in. I saw it at the bar. It was great. So the season is nearly over. And again, sorry if season isn't the right way to say it. The
campaign.
The campaign is nearly over. There is one game left for Arsenal. There are 2 games left for Manchester City, who is the team that is on their heels on the table. All right, so Manchester City won the Premier League last year. Arsenal hasn't won since a long time. I should look it up before I got here. Again, I'm a new fan. Sorry.
You used the word table correctly. That was awesome.
But the way this works is it's all point based.
Yes. So it's on aggregate. Okay. So this is coming down to the last day. This is going to come down to last game played to see who wins, and Arsenal could win out and not win the Premier League. And so I was texting my friend. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so insane. So tomorrow, on Tuesday, Manchester City will play Tottenham at noon our time. And Tottenham is Arsenal's biggest rival. Okay? Tottenham's basically not playing for anything else. But they could mess it up for Arsenal by losing big time to Manchester City. Do you guys follow me?
I got you.
All right. So if you are a Tottenham fan, you hate Arsenal with all your heart. You want your team to lose big time tomorrow. Travis, Fred, or Cap?
So the answer is fact with the way that you phrased it. If you're a fan, that's what you want. If you're a fan, if I'm not playing for anything, I don't want you to have anything either. If I'm a Dodger fan and the Giants are playing for something and the Dodgers are playing for nothing, I don't want the Giants to have it, right? They're my rival. As an athlete, they don't look at it like that. The fans are about screwing the other guy.
Yep.
The athletes earn their money like this, their reputation. The reason they're pros, whether it's a baseball player, a soccer, whatever it is, those guys are wired in such a way to be so ruthlessly competitive all the time. They don't care about that. They're going to go out there and play. The fans, fact, but for the athletes, Cap.
And by the way, Kent, sorry, if you're listening, please correct me if I've said anything wrong about how to talk about this. Sorry, Al, what were you saying?
Fact, I think we all do this. I mean, as much as we root for our team, there's also a big part of our rooting interest in games that have nothing to do with our team. We just pick a side. And if you have some history versus that team, if you just want to see that team fail because they're in your division, your conference, you're this or that, and we've kind of mentioned this, and I know you're still scratch your head on it. I don't know why I'm rooting for Clippers to lose to the Dallas Mavericks, but I am. This is different because they actually still get to play. I mean, I know we do the playoffs is much different than this, that the regular season is eventually who wins. That's what's based on it, but it's definitely fact for me.
All right, Jorge?
Fact for me as a fan. Like, for instance, I never hated the Houston Astros before. After the whole cheating scandal, the whole thing with the Astros,
Fair.
I root for the Astros against the Astros every time.
And
so
it doesn't matter.
And it doesn't
Playoffs,
matter.
World
Right.
Series, all that.
Yeah, now if the pitchers want to start pegging the players from the Astros, that's on them. But as a fan, I hate the Astros.
And I gotta say, I mean, when football's not in play, not in season, there's nothing better than waking up in the morning and hearing British people talk about soccer. Honestly, it just eases me into my Sunday. I have a little cup of coffee. I watch the game.
Tea or a pint at 4 o'clock in the morning and just be hanging out at one of those British pubs.
And it is nice when your team is winning, but when your team's like on edge, it's almost like playoff baseball right now. It's like you don't even you want them if they're up 1-0 or 1-0. It's nerve-wracking. So anyway.
Hockey's like that, too.
Exactly. So Jim Harbaugh, new head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't even know when this was, but there was a press conference at some point. I don't even know the freaking question that Jim Harbaugh was asked. I have just seen this snippet of what Jim said, and I'm going to play it for you guys, and then I have a statement on the other side. So this is Jim Harbaugh at a press conference.
3:34 in the morning, woke up, staring straight at the ceiling, and said to myself, it's not just another day, it's today. And maybe that's just another way of saying attack this day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. But it was a great day.
This was not on the side of the field where he just ran wind sprints. This was just in the middle of a press conference. I don't know why he's breathing so hard. All right, so this is exactly how you feel when you wake up at 3 a.m. Al, Fat or Cap?
Cap, yeah. I don't know what I can do to that. Listen, there's certain people, and you watch, this is kind of like motivational people, and they're getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and they're getting their workout in. Trav's getting his walk in. There's people that's what they do, and everything is based on time, and they tackle the day different than maybe you or my. How do I maximize every single second of the day? At 3 a.m., I go use the restroom, I come back, and I fall back asleep. That's what I do at 3:34 in the morning.
Today. Travis?
It's Cap. It's not how I feel, but this is kind of what I was talking about with the last one. Athletes, professional athletes, not you were on your JV, tennis team in high school. Not professional athletes, professional coaches. they're wired so differently than regular people. He does do that's a crazy person, but that's also why he's a great coach.
Right.
That a normal person does what Alan Sliwa does, what Travis Rogers does. It's 3 a.m. I'm rolling over. I'm getting 2.5 hours or more of sleep. I'm going back to bed. Right. That dude's like, I can't believe I get to coach football today. Today, I'm going to attack with relentless positivity and enthusiasm. Crazy people do that. Crazy people also achieve great things. That's why he's going to do a really good job with the Chargers. You think Brandon Staley was doing that? I don't think so. You think Sean McVay does that? Hell yes.
Who has it better than us?
Right? Those guys that are those relentlessly positive, up, never down, never negative. They are leaders, and that dude is going to do a good job with that team. He's going to rub everybody the wrong way after 5 or 6 years. They're going to be really good, and he's going to go to the next stop. That's what he does.
Jorge?
Oh, this is total fact. This is me every morning. It's 3 a.m. It's one of those days. I got to feed this kid. If not, he's going to be crying for the next 2 hours. I got to get my mind right in order for my day to like be a good day. And also, as a dad, like I'm a new dad, as of now, but just sometimes people ask me, how do you do it, man? Like, how do you do it with kids and stuff like that? I look at the crib. It's right next to me, and that's my motivation to get up and make the best out of my day. So
you know what else? And you're right. There's one other thing. No one else is coming to do it.
Nobody else can do it.
So you either have
when I was 21, like, you know what? I'm not coming in today. I can't do that anymore.
Nope.
And you know how he feels about you, you feel about your baby, how Jim Harbaugh feels about football. He's like,
Yes.
I can't wait. I got to go get this crib that is football.
Guy's going to do a good job there.
All right, so last one for you guys. So the GameStop stock guy, Keith Gill, a.k.a. quote-unquote Roaring Kitty, tweeted for the first time since 2021 over the weekend. And
how long ago did that whole thing go down?
3 years ago, 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. So he tweeted for the first time since 2021.
COVID, I think? No, it was after? Yeah, I can't remember.
It was 2021. And the stock surged
Thank
for
you.
GameStop.
COVID was 2020.
You graduated 2000. It's 21 years after.
I was like, okay.
No, we got it.
And the stock surged more than 80% for GameStop after one tweet. And all he tweeted out was a meme of, that meme that's the guy sitting down at his desk and then he leans forward.
Yes.
Okay, so it's that meme. All right, so people went out and got the stocks for GameStop, put it up 80%. Jeez. So aside from someone you know personally, so I'm not counting coworkers, I'm not counting your parents, your friends. There is somebody that can influence you to do something. So, if Fernando goes and buys a hat, you're like, that hat's pretty cool, I'm going to go buy it. Or if Elon Musk has a Cybertruck, I think that's pretty cool, I'm going to go buy that. So there is someone outside of your family or someone you know that could influence you. Jorge, Petrocap.
Maybe not at this age anymore, but I remember before, if you look at all my soccer gear, everything on my workout stuff, it's all three stripes. It's all Adidas stuff, and it's all because of David Beckham. I wanted a David Beckham shoes, a David Beckham brand, jacket, Predators, whatever that guy was wearing. I had to make sure I had a pair of shoes, sandals, T-shirt, whatever. I still, to this day, I still have a T-shirt from him from when I bought it back in high school. And I rock it around the house. It's one of those shirts that you rock around the house.
Sure.
And that's it. Go check the mail in that shirt, whatever. Go to bed with it in the shirt. But Beckham was my guy to buy. I bought books, magazines. I used to have everything back with it. But not, as of now, I don't know. If I like something now and it fits great, it's mine.
Trev?
Very specific, but it's fact for me. So it was a specific golf equipment thing, okay? It was Tiger Woods and golf balls. When Tiger Woods really took off, when he went from, hey, that guy's going to be really good, to turning into Tiger Woods, Nike had never really been in the golf category as far as equipment goes. I don't know anybody that didn't go try the golf balls, the golf clubs. Tiger.
Started wearing red
this,
shirts on.
See, that's why I said never the gear. Never the gear. The gear is Tiger's taste in clothes is awful. Just awful. So
it looks good on him, though.
Well, he could wear a burlap sack and it's going to look good because he's incredibly, dynamic, tall and lean and muscular and all those things. But his clothes just look bad, in my opinion. But his golf equipment, I tried it all. Didn't really help me all that much. But Tiger Woods was the answer for me.
Al?
Cap, I'm trying to think, is there something from sports? But none of that stuff. I mean, shoes I wasn't big into, so it's not like that player impact me to go buy this. None of the gear.
Any technology that you have, like you're influenced to get like the Google Pixel because the guy at the store told you.
It is the official phone of the NBA.
It is official. That is true.
Maybe with that one you thought Shams is going to reach for you faster. I don't know. Yeah.
I lean towards Cap. No influence. No influence there.
I am influenced more. I mean, I kind of keep myself from it, but sometimes I'll see people like on TikTok having this thing and they might like want it or something, but I kind of try to stay away because like most of the people have stuff that's so expensive and I can't.
I
afford
don't
it.
have the ability, like you guys know. So sometimes I'll remember the most random things. Right? You'll see something on Instagram or whatever it is, like I like that jacket, or I like you'll see a recipe or something. Oh, I want to try that. Second it's gone, it's gone. I couldn't remember it even if I wanted to.
I get influenced by Instagram ads a lot because even if I like,
do you buy like on the spot?
I have at times it's usually not on the spot though. It's like I'll see it, I'll explore the page, I won't get anything, and then like 2 weeks later, I keep on getting these ads.
Oh, because you looked at the page.
Yeah, but I keep thinking maybe I should get this thing or whatever, and then I eventually get it maybe like 2-3 weeks later.
You guys remember those infomercials before, like, hey, call 1-800 right now for free shipping?
Yep.
Well, it was one of those items where like it was.
My dad would get roped in all those.
Would he really?
Yeah.
Basically, it was 2 pans to make pancakes. You don't have to use a spatula anymore. All you have to do is flip them.
Yes,
and
I remember
bought
that.
2 of those, one for my mom.
Wait, like
one
the
for
ones
me.
at the hotel?
No. That's
not
the
a
machine.
waffle iron. Like
No.
it was, you pour the batter in this little mold and then you just turn it upside down, as opposed to flip it up.
This is
spatula.
imagine 2 pans, small pans.
Right.
Imagine 2 of those stacked up together.
Yeah.
And they have like a hinge that you can like open them. You put your pancake batter in there. Instead of using your spatula to flip it on regular pan, you basically flip it
the pan.
to another pan.
That
100%.
makes it feel like the
100%. My dad would buy, like, he bought those non-stick pans. You melt
Copper,
cheese on here. Yeah, nothing in this.
Like how often would he buy something?
Probably once every couple of months. Here's like a popcorn maker
Oh,
out
yeah.
of nowhere.
Knives and
You
stuff.
put the
those
butter
ceramic
right
knives.
here, and the butter's going to come in. It's like, my mom, I think, still owns all those.
Your most impulsive or random purchase off of TV. Let us know what it is. 877-710-ESPN. 877-710-ESPN. I'll go first. 80s love ballads. All 30 CDs showed up at my door after a martini evening. Big mistake. That's next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
So I was talking about my Arsenal fandom and whether or not Tottenham fans should or should not root for their team to lose to Manchester City tomorrow.
Yes.
When they play one of the last games of the Premier League. So Edward Vento says this, and he says, as a huge Tottenham fan and an Arsenal hater, okay, shouts out, I still want us to win tomorrow. I don't really care if Arsenal wins the league. I care more about team success and Arsenal failing to win the league. So it's more of like, okay, you never want your team to lose. And I think that's most fans, if you're rational, I guess, be like, I just would rather see my team beat a good team,
even
than
if they're
lose
out
big.
of it completely. Are they completely? They're not going to accomplish anything.
So for Premier League, you can like get points and you can get benefits by not being at the bottom of the table.
But they're
going to
kind of be where they are regardless.
Yeah. They're not going to move up
team
drastically.
I could root against my team in that scenario.
Yeah.
The only thing that could play to your benefit is if the team you hate, that's also a rival, if they won, does that put more pressure on, your front office, this, that? Okay, they won. Like, we have to do everything we can to compete against them. Yeah, that's the only thing
Tottenham hasn't won anything in ages, so who cares?
He's just throwing soccer shade over there. Tell me more about what your dad would buy off of TV, Slee. I really like this. ShamWow.
I know it was. No, it wasn't.
I did.
Wasn't ShamWow.
Did you really?
I did.
Follow me, camera guy.
Yeah.
The thing looked amazing, by the way. Did it work?
No, it would leave all kinds of stuff on your windows. It's. I mean, after a couple uses and stuff, yeah.
So your dad got the popcorn machine?
Got the popcorn 100%.
What else?
Definitely got those pans that was like, they crack eggs on them. They melt cheese on them. It's like, look, there's nothing. My mom's like, you don't even cook. The hell
maybe he was trying to hook her up.
Yeah, maybe that's what he was trying to do. What else did he have? It's funny that you said the popcorn machine you remember.
I know exactly.
And you even described it.
It had a clear top with a little red spout where the popcorn would fall out. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. There was an area, too, that when you're making it, it got so hot, you'd put the butter so the butter would melt, and then all of a sudden you could now kind of spread it on the popcorn. It's so random that out of like all people, my dad would get caught
Ginsu
up.
Knives.
Jorge, they would say, buy now, and you get a second one.
For half off or whatever.
My dad was like,
why do you need two popcorn makers?
Because you can give it as a gift.
That part's true.
That's it.
You can do that.
Here are two infomercials that have burned themselves into my brain. It's the Bumpits, like the clip Bumpits for women where you can put the thing in your hair and make your hair
actually
bigger.
know what that is, yes.
And then the other one is the Betty Crocker Bacon Fill. And so it's where you could like bake your cake, but you could put ice cream. You can basically make ice cream cakes at home. And like in special ways, you can fill it with like cream, other things. I'm trying to like watch a YouTube video to describe what they're doing, but it's the Betty Crocker Bacon Fill. You can kind of like bake two cakes at once in a weird way.
What is your worst, as only on TV purchase? 877.
Or maybe there's some good ones.
No, there aren't. 877-710 ESPN.
My uncle once bought a little oven to like, put a whole chicken in there.
That the Ron Popeil
like
Roastmaster thing.
Wait. Is this the set it and forget
yes,
it guy?
Yes.
And it spins.
Do you know how many?
Did the Sliwas have one?
We don't have one. That one was too expensive. There was like he had a budget that we couldn't
And then
go
the
over.
other one was the Jack LaLanne juicer, where you
the
can put
juicer
the
and
whole,
all those exercise ones
right.
too. Who was the guy
ab
with
roller? How about the ab
Was
roller?
that Tony
Ab
Little
roller.
with the blonde ponytail? Remember that guy?
I don't know.
He would do the
bodybuilder.
No, but there's Body by Jake, and then Tony Little, I think, had the long blonde ponytail and was the ab roller guy. Susan,
we had an ab roller.
Suzanne
Did you guys
Summers
have an ab
with
roller?
the
I did.
Thigh Master.
And
Oh,
now
that's right.
they're all just Instagram influencers and TikTok influencers. Like these infomercial people are just the people selling random stuff on these things.
Jason in Downey. Jay, you're all Travis Slee. What's up?
So you guys already said the one that my dad bought was the set it and forget it. I remember my dad bought the 7-minute ads. Those two are forever embedded in my brain because, it's my...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well,
so here's the thing. I need to know, did you have the set it and forget it? You had the set it and forget it.
One of
We
my
didn't
family
have
members
it.
did.
It's too expensive.
Was the food any good?
Dude, it's one of those things where, we order it. You would see it on the counter, but I've never seen it in action. But it was on the counter. Like, what is that? It's like, we can put a whole chicken in there. I was like,
I think he was the same guy that had the spray on hair, like the hair in a can that you could, like, basically hair spray paint that you could use.
But everything else that I mentioned about like the other stuff, like why are you buying this, blah blah, the set it and forget it. That thing, I was like, I got to get one of those.
And
I
the
didn't
crowd,
get one.
and the
I didn't get
crowd
one.
went with it. And what do we do, people?
Set it and forget it.
You can find it on there, bro. That thing at like 2 a.m. was all that was on TV. I think it was on 14 different channels.
Absolutely. There was the shake weight, which was oddly pornographic.
Shake it.
Yeah, it was very, very odd. How about the guy that made the boat out of the caulking material?
Flex Seal, the still guy.
Look, I'm running over a swamp full of alligators in my boat made out of rubber cement. It's like, that seems like a bad idea.
Okay, there was a TLC show, I think, that followed Billy Mays and the other guy about like the secrets behind like infomercial pitchmans and stuff. It's the ShamWow guy and Billy Mays before Billy Mays passed.
Yeah, well, the ShamWow guy is named Vince. So let's put some respect on Vince's name.
I cared more about Billy Mays. Okay, gone too soon. That's
ShamWow guy there. The ShamWow guy has a history that's not great, but Bill, we'll stick with Billy Mays. Rick in Studio City, what do you got, Rick?
Good call.
Yeah, thanks,
Rick. He was ready for some super cross-talk. Bonk.
I wanted to talk about Bosley hair restoration. That guy.
Yeah, but that's like a medical procedure. I don't know. That's not a thing that you're...
What about Chia Pets?
Chia Pets are great.
Was the Foreman Grill an infomercial?
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay, then I bought probably 37 different Foreman grills in college.
Different colors,
and
different sizes. Oh, yeah.
I use that thing all the time.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
How would you clean it? Because that was hard to clean. Because the
not on the infomercial. That thing was
just wipe it down.
Just put it right in the dishwasher.
Here's raw chicken that you just had there. Don't worry. Use one paper towel. Rub it once, and you're good.
Look up the Betty Crocker bacon fill. I think you guys would appreciate this.
Done. The Nuggets are back in it, which is oddly very bad news for the Lakers. That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Just leave it and forget it.
ESPN.
Call now.
So this is the one, I might even have been this song, quite frankly. Susan and I are home. The kids are young. Like our oldest is probably maybe 10, which means we had like 10, 7, and 5. Weren't getting out a ton. Having a couple of drinks at home. Some martinis. And we're flipping channels back in the days of cable TV, right? And you land on one of these commercials that's Time Life. Love songs by Time Life. Yeah. And it's one song after the other. And Susan are like, oh, I like that one. Oh, I like that one. And you picked up the thing, drunk dialed Time Life and got the 80s love ballads, thinking it's going to be, 20 bangers. It's like 20 songs you've heard of and 400 that you had never heard in your entire life.
And on top of that, the song playlist that's coming up on screen, the yellow ones are the big hits.
The bangers, yeah.
Exactly. And then
here's another one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get the thing, it's like, wait, why are there 14 CDs in here? They've all got 20 songs each on. This is not good. I got to sift through all of these CDs to get what I want.
Now I'm going down. This is going to happen. I'm going to end up with a rabbit hole of watching old infomercials. That's what's going to end up happening.
It's not a bad one
Remember
to do
the
it.
clapper?
Of course.
Clap on. Clap off.
That old lady had a bad attitude in the clapper commercial. Remember her at the very end where the lights are on and she rolls out. She's like,
Yeah,
and
she's
she's
angry.
like
Right.
upset.
Aggressive.
It's like, I'm not the one that fell asleep with the TV on, lady. Just turn your stuff off. Keep it moving.
Sheesh.
North Hollywood, John, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's up, John?
Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
So in the 1970s, my dad and mom and I were in a department store, and there was a discount rack for record albums. And my dad goes through it, and he finds a record album for Marcel Marceau, and he goes, "Oh, French, all right, I'm going to buy that." And he gets it home, and he's all excited. My dad was the kind of guy who he just always wanted to find new things to be interested in. And so he gets home, and he plays the album. And if you don't know, Marcel Marceau
It's a mime.
was a mime.
Yes.
And so the album plays through, and there's no sound all the way through the first side, and then he flips it, and he plays it all the way through the second side, and there's no sound, and at the very end, there's about 2 minutes of applause, and my family mocked him mercilessly for 40 years.
Okay, so John, when you started, I heard Marcel Marceau. I'm like, he's a mime. Like this is whatever was on that record, but that's awesome. Please tell me you still have it.
No, it's gone. Unfortunately, it's gone. But the comedy of that was, and it was very typical of my dad. You know, he just he was just that guy. You know,
that's
He's going to be a hipster of French music.
Well, there. By the way, mimes. Thank you for the call, John. Mime. What, is it the art of mime? Am I saying that correct, Slee? Is that right? Miming.
Sure.
Miming sounds like you're digging in the side of the hill for gold. I know that it's off by a letter, but it's too close. Let's just go with mime. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I get it. You're in the box. You're pulling on the rope. It's windy. Like what else you got? Like every mime's got
and
the
you
same.
think you'd love Paris?
Well, I don't have to watch the street corner mime. I can go to the bistro and help myself to the brasserie. I can do that.
Was River Dance part of the infomercial stuff? Do you ever remember the River Dance?
I know what it is. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Em?
Yes.
Was that an infomercial type of like CD thing?
Don't know for sure if that was.
I think they were trying to get you to buy tickets to the show.
No.
Yeah, kind of like Shen Yun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Does Shen Yun ever go away?
They have every billboard.
It's unbelievable.
They have every billboard.
If you are driving in a part of the city where the billboards are digital and they turn over, you can get like a triple Shen Yun if you're stuck in traffic for a while on 3 different billboards. They got them all.
River Dance they were trying to sell you the CD. And the CD, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was like, I forgot who the main dancer was. And then there was
Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, see, I can remember that. Yeah.
You just gave me 1 second ago, you gave me this, like, I'm not
No,
sure.
no.
And then
you were asking
Michael
if it's
Flatley.
an infomercial. I don't think it's an infomercial because I don't think they were trying to sell the CD. I think they were getting you to try to buy tickets to the show. That's just advertising as opposed to infomercial advertising. I think. What other mime classics are there? Man in the Box, Guy with the Rope, Windy.
Walking downstairs that aren't there.
Oh, that like Michael Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on there. Is that it? That seems like a fairly short-lived art form. Like, once you master those 4, you're good.
Are you following me, camera guy?
Can you give me a Man in the Box?
Well, I can, but it's rated. Should I? Okay.
Come on, Parker. Hey, focus here, Parker.
This is why you have to watch on YouTube. He's in a box. Oh, that box actually
good.
Oh, the
it's really close to your head, Travis.
Collapsing. I don't know if the box is collapsing or.
You got to put your hands up higher because you clearly have to have room around it. Yeah, see, there you go. That's a steady box.
Pretty
see,
good.
it's not that
heavy.
easy.
It's heavy.
What? People like that? Like, hey, you know what we should do? How
that's an
about
overrated one.
how about we go down to the corner and watch that guy pretend to be in windy, even though it's not windy, and then he'll grab a rope that's not there. Yeah, let's throw some money in his case.
And people do.
I know.
That's the impressive thing about it.
I don't get it. So Nuggets are back in it, Slee, right? I think, what did you say? It was Friday? You're like, we could come back in here on Monday and they could be out.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Or they could come back on Monday and they could have best of 3 coming up. Road team won all 4. That the Nuggets got back into it. after they looked the way they looked in the first two, maybe it's a little surprising, but they're the defending champion.
And the way they looked against the Lakers. I didn't really look like they looked clean against the Lakers either.
They are the champs. Yeah. They have the best player in the league. And Jamal Murray looked like Jamal Murray again. And they've played really well in the last two games. That series is going to go the way that's going to go. It feels like whoever wins that series is the best team in the West. We'll see how the Celtics look by the time we get there. But stick on the West for a second. Seeing them fight back against a Minnesota team that had them on the ropes. Okay. Seeing Minnesota put them on the ropes to start with. And by the way, I don't think Minnesota's dead in the water. I think this can be an incredible finish.
I think go 7.
Math would say yes. Dallas looks really, really good. Oklahoma City looks a little ahead of schedule, but they're a really good team.
Yep.
Those top four are just pulling further away from the pack. And then you got the middle of the pack. Lakers, I think, are in the middle of the pack. The Clippers are in the middle of the pack. The Suns, maybe towards the bottom of the middle of the pack. The Warriors, way at the bottom of the middle of the pack. But it doesn't feel like anything else than those four teams are just pulling away from everybody. And the Denver showed that kind of resilience that Minnesota was able to throw that punch to start with. How are you going to get on that level? And as I'm watching these games, because again, I don't really care if Denver or Minnesota wins. I just want to watch good basketball. I'm watching it through the lens of how can the Lakers catch those teams, and I just can't see it right. I don't know how you get to there in a short period of time.
And it might just be that, look, I do think they're the two best teams in the Western Conference. I think they will represent the West, whoever comes out of it. I think for the Lakers, that's also probably going to add some more pressure in the offseason of saying, we got to swing a little wild here. Listen, they're going to swing. 3 draft picks are going to go somewhere. I believe they will. I don't see them coming back. Right. I don't see them coming back and saying, well, let's just run this back and it's going to look different next year. It would look different next year if your top guys were Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns and they were young enough and they're, they're on the up and up. It would look different if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder, if they lose to the Dallas Mavericks in this upcoming round, means they get 2 rounds to get some experience that they never had the year prior.
Yeah.
I think for the Lakers, if you're trying to be with where these two franchises are, where Minnesota and Denver is, the only way you can be there is if you're swinging for the fences, and that's not going to guarantee you anything.
Well, it might guarantee you a longer stay at the bottom.
Could.
Yeah, that is a far more likely outcome than anything else.
Somebody going up, swinging for a home run. Typically, they don't hit the home run, but somebody going up swinging for a home run is not thinking, well, geez, if this doesn't work out, they're thinking, what if I just connect?
Yeah.
It's kind of going to be how the Lakers approach it.
There is no connect. Like, it's an unhittable pitch. Time is the way that you hit that pitch. Luck. Luck. I mean, but if your plan is, I hope I get lucky, okay, that's not a plan. That's just,
you fall into luck. You're at the right place at the right time for luck.
The Timberwolves are going to be a really good team for a while. Denver already is a really good team, and they will be for a while. Oklahoma City is happening. LeBron James is going to year 22. Anthony Davis is going to be 32 years old next season. Yep. That whatever else you stick around that, and because I don't even know what it's going to be. To your point, most of those other things are going out. I get that they're going to try to do something wild and crazy, but unless something really hard to imagine coming around the corner, there isn't they got that. Okay, cool. We're on the level of Denver, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, and Dallas. You're just unless Giannis decides to come to L.A., I'm not seeing it.
It's going to be more of a surprise if they could find a way to be in the mix. But, Trav, at the end of the day, I kind of stop at this. I think I stop at I don't know if there's a player that's going to be available that we're not talking about right now. I don't know if there's and
I hope so.
Doesn't it always seem like, too, for the Lakers, teams are going to be less apt to want to trade with the Lakers, that it's usually tougher to do a deal with the Lakers?
I know that some people I don't subscribe to that as much. It might have a small deciding factor, but
if
I
you
think
get the right package for your team, you get the right package.
If I think there's a good deal for my team, I'm not going to not do it because it's the Lakers. I think the Laker fans assign way too much. They think they're a little more special than they actually are. If the deal's good for me and you're the Lakers on the other side, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it I'll do it with the Suns, but I won't do it with you. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I think at a time there was that. I think part of the reason why the NBA went into remember in 2000 and what was it? 11, something like that, with the Chris Paul trade going down. I think there was a time where some of that stuff
It's a long time ago.
was a long time ago. And things have changed. But the Lakers brand's the Lakers brand. I don't think people want to see the Lakers succeed.
I think they want to see themselves succeed. I don't think anybody's motivation is, I want to make sure that you fail first. Everybody's motivation is, I want to succeed first. And if I can succeed and keep you away from me, cool.
And they're not dominant enough.
That's
to
what I
where
mean.
You're
I don't
worried
think
about
people.
them winning
I don't
2
think
or
the other
3 in a row.
29 teams are getting upset. How do we get the Lakers bad? No. I think it's how do I make myself good, and if I can, throw some dirt on one of my competitors.
Can I give you an example? One example more recently. I don't think Brooklyn would have traded with the Lakers with Kyrie Irving because it was the Lakers.
If they would have given them what they wanted, they might have.
I don't think so. But I think that had more to do
Why
with...
not?
I don't think so because I think that had more to do with Kyrie Irving. I think they didn't want to give Kyrie what he wanted.
That could be, but that had nothing to do with the Lakers. That had to do with Kyrie. If their motivation was blank you don't get what you want. You want to go there? Okay, that's the one spot you're not going.
Yeah.
That it could have been Portland. Just if that's where he wanted to go, then they would have stuck it to him in Portland. Let's try another call here. Los Angeles, CJ. Oh yeah, what do you got, CJ?
Man, so my dad, he would buy so much of those commemorative coins, the year of the birth coins, the silver dollar coins.
Excellent.
And I have this giant box. He would what?
He got sold on those? That was like the only thing my dad didn't buy. He bought everything else.
There's only 100 left.
And the thing is, he would make me buy it with him.
What do you mean?
Had multiple. He's like, these are going to get rich quick schemes. It's going to cost so much more money in the future. So he's like, here, use your credit card, buy me a couple. Like, I'll get a call in the middle of the night of like, can you buy some for me? And so I would just do it just to make him happy, get off my back. But I have a garage full of them that just sit there and collect dust.
That is awesome. I remember, and it would always vary at the bottom of the screen. It would always say "not legal tender," right? It would always say this is actually not money. That's terrific, CJ. Thank you, and you're a good son for taking care of your dad like that. Good job, Raymond in Long Beach. What do you got, Ray?
Hey, how you doing, guys? You guys forgot the biggest infomercial of them all, man.
Which one?
The Little Giant, the ladder. That thing is everywhere now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
you
that
can
one.
extend it.
Oh,
you
the
can
folds.
bend it. You can
Yeah,
fold.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, how have I missed this?
All because it has 2 clips on the side. And then
Oh, it has
once
a
you open-
hinge?
Yeah. So that once you open it, you can extend it like 20 feet or whatever. You can fold it in half, so it's 10 feet on each side. You could do so many things with the Little Giant.
Do you have one,
My
Raymond?
dad
Did you
didn't
buy
believe
one?
in debit cards. My dad did. He didn't believe in debit cards at all.
our
He
dads
didn't use
got
them in the early 2000s. But that's the only time I ever see him use a debit card was to order that ladder.
Either that or send your money order. Remember that? Send your money order.
Oh
Yeah. He used to put cash in an envelope and mail it off.
Oh no! Yeah, you had to go. Remember, you had to go to 7-Eleven to get a money order.
Oh, of course.
Like, yeah, you could buy your money order there, and they would always have the ticker in the bottom of the corner. Like it'd say 250 left. Oh, we're down to 233. Oh, we're down to 207. You're like, oh, I better hurry and get my hinged ladder.
That
Fantastic.
or go to a Knicks check cashing. Remember that, Trev?
Yeah, hey, it's only 28% of your check. Just come on in and we'll give you cash for it right now. Absolutely. Never a good deal. Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Back to baseball, Slee. Dodgers in a little bit of a low point. That's fine. Not a big deal. But somebody is in a low point that's been way too long that might be a big deal. That's next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
I'm attorney Darren Kavanoki.
You're about to hear the greatest soft rock collection ever.
I want you to show me
So many #1 hits.
sad songs.
So many great artists.
This is the one.
It's hard to believe they're all in
This got
one
me.
incredible
There's a guy on Talk who imitates these, and he changes costumes between every clip to look sort of like the artist in the song.
Kills it.
It's hilarious.
That's good.
He's like this bald dude, this brother, and he wears wigs of all types. He's hilarious.
Keep that thing rolling until the end, Jorge. I want to know how much they got me for.
Oh, so you bought this?
I bought this.
$19.99.
Yeah, I bought this.
I have a confession to make. So in my household growing up, and by the way, it's good to see you guys. Happy Monday.
Buenos dias.
I come
Gross.
from a home shopping QVC household.
Oh, you do?
My mother, God bless her, happy Mother's Day, Mom, watched the QVC morning show. I am more than familiar with how the insurance on packages and returns work at the post office as a result of the constant runs
Sending you-
I was making back and forth as a result of my mother's shopping. We'll just call it proclivity. Some of us may or not have inherited a retail addiction as a result of this.
Oh, did you get
Really?
To some
Do you have
degree
that
that I've
gene?
had to grow out of. But yeah, so trust me. My point is, you are amongst your people, Trash.
So, well, Slee's dad apparently had a little impulsive streak in him when it came to infomercials.
He was,
Yeah.
a couple pans,
Trav.
non-stick, all that stuff. He was in
Infomercials are one thing. Watching the QVC morning show is another, to the point where I knew the names of all the personalities by heart.
it. Give us some purchases. What have you?
A
What,
lot of blankets, a lot of lamps, a lot of quasi
you're a home goods guy.
quasi home. Not me. I'm
Your
talking
mom.
about mi madre.
Yeah.
Like a lot of air fryers before air fryers were a thing, kind of stuff. Things to make life easier in the house.
Turn that screen around so they can't see it real quick. What do you think they got? Did you see it, Yates?
I haven't seen
It's
the price.
2 CDs.
4
Slee.
records or 3 cassettes.
I'm gonna go with
1998.
Yeah, it's funny. That's what I said.
Compact
1999.
25. We went to the CDs, so we spent $24.98.
Oh, and don't forget this. Not
available in stores. Yeah. You know why? Because nobody buys it. That's why it's not available in stores, because it's crap.
It's like as seen on TV. Wait a second. The whole point is that I can only get it on TV. What's going on here?
Except for every Bed Bath & Beyond is
Correct.
loaded with as seen on TV stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. What's up with you?
Nothing much. Got back from New York. Happy about that. Did some stuff with our friends over at Good Karma, so that was cool.
Okay.
So we're there for
You
that.
were on Sportsmanlike on Friday.
I was
right?
on Unsportsmanlike on Friday. And by the way, they asked the question, what is the most imitated batting stance of all time? And they went through a whole seg without me there, and nobody mentioned Gary Sheffield. And I was like, what are we doing here?
Ken Griffey is like a...
Yeah, but
Griffey kind of.
But he was a lefty, and
Yeah.
Ken Griffey also had a gorgeous swing that you couldn't just imitate, like
talking
Gary
about Sheffield.
Sheffield. Yeah, and I was like, how did you guys get through 8 minutes of talking
It's
about this
funny.
without mentioning Chef?
This is old, and I'm going to out myself as an old person here. But when you first said that,
Yeah.
you know the one that we always used to do as kids was Joe Morgan.
Okay,
because he
well,
did
similar. Yeah, he did the elbow.
He did the
similar
little elbow
vein,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly a swinging thing. It was
Yeah.
sort of a
Did you hear her?
timing
Or no?
mechanism.
What's that?
You didn't hear her?
I said Babe Ruth.
See, I do the Babe Ruth run, the little sped up run where he kind of waddles around the bases.
Like
a little
black
bit.
and white film.
Yeah, call my shot and then go
You
around
look
the
like
bases.
super sped up because
Ragtime,
that's what videos look like then.
Exactly. I
The
saw
Red
the
Sox are
worst.
going today.
I saw the worst baseball game. Maybe not the worst, but top 5 on Friday night.
I was listening earlier. You went down to the LBC.
Yeah.
Summertime in the LBC. Great song, by the way.
Yeah.
That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Bad
the
game.
Dirtbag's not doing
13-2,
great.
you
these
said
days.
final?
It was 13-2 when I left.
Do you want 13-2 or 0-0 game ends at 12th inning?
Okay, first of all, you're talking to somebody that's been to 3 separate 18-inning Major League Baseball playoff games. I can live with all of this. Oh, yeah. I might write a book, dog. It's that ridiculous. So I can live.
You were at the Dodger-Red Sox game.
I was at Dodgers-Red Sox. I was at Nats-Giants as a fan.
Oh, that's
And I was
right.
also at Astros-Mariners. Yeah.
Oh, that
I was at
one went a
every
million
single one of
miles,
those
too.
games. And
Yeah.
so to your point, you left in what? You said the 8th? All you people who are of the opinion, oh, my God, how could you leave a game like that? Dude, when the Giants
was
beat
13-2
the
in the
Nats,
8th inning.
when the Giants beat
Why
the
would
Nats,
you stay 9 innings for that?
again, I stayed 18. It went from 70 degrees before the game to 30 degrees at the end. 30 degrees at the end of the game. Brutal on brutal. I didn't even realize until 2 years later that I had effectively emotional PTSD to the point I did not return to Nats Park to see them the entire next season. And I didn't realize it until 2 seasons later. I was like, why is it so unfamiliar? Oh,
0-0. The part that stucks for you, Al, is that the game, they just call it a tie in the Japanese league.
Yeah, that's
apparently.
awkward.
That's
Right.
awkward. But 0-0 once you pass the night, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, it keeps it
in one
moving.
swing, the game ends. You're hanging on every pitch, 13-2.
You're
There's
hanging on
nothing.
every pitch other than there was never a pitch anyone connected with.
That's not great, but you don't know that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
13-2, it's a wrap.
My point is, ever since that day, my thought was, if you want to leave, leave.
All right.
Just go.
Got a theory for you. I'm going to pull up some numbers here
Sure.
to look at this. Coming into this season, the Dodgers decided that they're going to slide Mookie over to shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a fine job. He's done a better job than I think anybody could have reasonably expected. In the amount of time he's been over there, he went from kind of a neophyte, just doing it on the big league level, to he's major league competent.
Yeah.
In 40 games, it's pretty damn good. On the wrong side of 30, to be able to do that is crazy. Okay. He also got off to a rip-roaring start offensively. In the month of May, he has not. In the month of May, he has one extra base hit. He got it yesterday. In the month of May, he is not walking anymore. He has only 4 walks in those games. He is not driving the ball at all. The slug is way down. The on-base percentage is way off. That it's 318 in the month. It's 480 over the course of the season. Does one thing have anything to do with the other? Because shortstop is a mental and physical grind the way that other positions are not. And what makes him him is that he is an A triple plus offensive player.
Mm-hmm.
If he is not playing at an A triple plus level, is it a mistake to leave him at shortstop?
I think it's more mental than it is physical, because what you have to think about every day, and that's not implying that Mookie is not intelligent enough to play a position and hit as well. I just think that what it takes to learn what it takes every day is the hard part that's taking up the most of your mental space, to the point that if you're learning as you go, you're thinking about that quite a bit, whether you can make the plays physically or not. And that, just by virtue of having 24 hours in a day, takes away from work you're doing elsewhere. I also feel that...
Do you lean more towards what he's saying then? Because if any part of his, okay, I got to now put more time into this, I got to put more effort into this, I am learning something a little bit on the fly. Didn't he say before the season started he wasn't in infield since he was in high school or something along those lines?
Well, no, and he was playing it in the minor leagues, but they changed him over because Dusty Pedroia was ahead of him in the Red Sox, and he was never going to play the position at the big league level. But let me ask you, if you drive an automatic, and all of a sudden you said you're driving a stick to work every day, but you're figuring it out as soon as you leave the garage, yeah, it's going to be a little different what your commute is, even if the work that you do on the radio isn't the same. I just feel that the approach, he takes what, 100 ground balls for every game?
Probably.
You know what I mean? And like, that's spring training level intensity
It absolutely
every day of the
is.
week.
But what makes him an MVP is his bat.
Yeah.
What makes him an MVP is his ability to play Gold Glove level defense in the outfield.
Right.
That's what he's an MVP at those things. The second and again, this is a couple weeks. It's not the end of
What
the
you're
world.
saying is you're not trading shortstop for the bat.
Hell no.
Gotcha. Well,
hell no.
That's why this became a problem to begin with.
That's what I'm saying. And look, this could just be, I don't care who it is, Shohei Otani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman.
Everyone goes through
everybody's
a
going to have 2 weeks
Yeah.
where you don't swing the bat great. That's just the way that baseball goes. But let's say it goes a whole month and his offense just is kind of flat.
I revisit it, yes.
You have to,
I
right?
absolutely revisit it. And I think you do it as much for Mookie's sake as you do it for your own. Give this guy a little bit of a recharge.
I think it also, and this is kind of part of the Walker Buehler conversation, they have most teams in Major League Baseball don't have margin for error, right? If you're just trying to make the playoffs, you're trying to make the postseason, the Dodgers just waking up will end up winning this division. I wonder how much time they give a Mookie thing, a Buehler thing, simply because they have the luxury of doing it where other teams don't.
Slee, I do see anything that has to do with arms as a slightly different matter than it does with everyday players, mainly because arms you're only getting a certain amount per week anyway. And if that's not working out, you have to make a decision earlier in your process than you do with an everyday player because you can't replace them in the same fashion just from a roster construction standpoint. The Walker Buehler question and answer session is about to end real quick if this guy doesn't find a way to get some quality starts, because at certain points you just say, hey, man, you can't afford to just be sort of dropping games or potentially not progressing. And I'm not saying that he's bad or it's an issue,
You
but
gotta give him time.
Well,
You
how much
gotta
time are
give
you going
him
to
time.
give the guy?
Couple months.
Well, how's the
And how many starts, I think, is a better question.
Here's the
Yeah.
question. Is he healthy? If he's healthy, okay, that's number one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's assume health, okay? What are the other 4 guys doing? If we're winning most of those other 4 games, I'm going to let this ride as long as he's healthy. I'm going to let him try to knock rust off at the major league level because it's not really costing me anything other than a game here or there. I can live with having him be a work in progress as long as everything else is clicking. If he's unhealthy, that's a totally different thing.
Is he potentially costing you the development of another player, though? And that's a question that's difficult to answer because you don't. The average Major League fan doesn't know all that was going on the farm.
It is a difficult question to answer, and the answer may be perhaps.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to maybe risk that
because it's Walker Buehler.
Because I know what the very good version of what that is.
Right, but I think we're in the same stock, Travis. I think we think that perhaps
you know what it is.
It's not necessarily coming back because the way that he throws.
You know what it is too. He's not missing any bats. He can't put anybody away.
A lot of solid contact.
He can't put anybody. And again, it's been 2 years, and he's pitched to major league hitters twice.
Right.
I'm not ready to say
not throwing him on the scrap heap at all.
Let's see what it is, but there's not a lot of swing and miss, and that's what all great, and he was great. That's what all those guys do. They get a ton of swing and miss.
Those max velo guys, those guys who have max effort, it's like the comeback is harder than people realize because you're getting back to a thing that might not return. Doesn't mean you can't be an effective pitcher. It doesn't mean you can't be an effective pitcher, but I don't know that we're ever going to see 100% Walker Buehler.
Okay. Did you see the City Connect jerseys?
Which
that
ones?
are leaked out.
The Dodgers.
I haven't seen them. No. Do we have a picture?
Yeah,
Trav loves them.
I'll give a one-word recap because these City Connects have gotten way out of hand.
Trav,
way out of hand in my personal opinion. I do not love the general idea. I very rarely like the executions. These are boring. These look like something that if the Los Angeles Dodgers played in Space Jam.
Look at you. Can you see the
little flex?
The Pop-Tart topping?
Yeah, the flex. Yeah, flex as in FLCKS, not
flecks
FLEX.
of color.
Yes, exactly. These are very boring. Again, if the Dodgers played in Space Jam 3, this is the uniforms they would wear. I got to go. Goodbye, guys.
They're terrible. You did not dump on these nearly enough. These are despicable and should never be shown the light of day.
That's not an awful description there.
Yeah.
No, it's a boring description.
That's what boring is.
I know.
If you're bored, then
but
you're
this
boring.
is not
PJ
boring.
Harvey.
This sucks.
Okay. I don't hate it. It's like a better. It should be a long sleeve T-shirt. It shouldn't be the actual jersey.
It should be thrown on a fire is what it should be done.
Goodbye, guys.
Hot and Cold's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. Hey, is your vehicle ready? Look at that sticker in your window. Is it ready for service? Are you ready to get on the road for Memorial Day, which is right around the corner? Get yourself into your neighborhood Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Because for over 30 years, Valvoline has provided quick and convenient automotive maintenance services for busy people just like you and me. You don't have to get out of the car at Valvoline. You just sit to chill out, close your eyes, listen to a podcast, stare at these ugly jerseys, whatever it is you want to do. Because at Valvoline, you stay in your car safe and relaxed while the expert technicians make sure that your ride is at its best. Oil changes, tire rotations, transmission care, and a whole lot more. Just pull up, drive in, and drive out in about 15 minutes. Over 80 locations ready to help you get your ride ready for the road in no time. Before you hit the road for Memorial Day, visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Mason and I.
of SoCal sports fans.
You're as cold as ice.
Call 833-3-NEXTGEN, NEXGEN, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Time for our feature we do 3 days a week at 12:30 p.m. Who's hot? Who's cold? Thanks to NextGen. Boy, time for Who's Hot? Who's Cold? Take it away, Producer M.
Boy. Who's hot?
Aloha.
Who's hot might or may not be Tyler Glasnow. Okay, so over the weekend, the Dodgers broadcast was telling a story about what he heard about how Tyler Glasnow met his now girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm going to play it for you guys, and then I'm going to ask you guys whether you think it's creepy or not creepy. All right, so here is the story of how Tyler Glasnow met his girlfriend.
At the ballpark, when he was pitching for the Rays, said he noticed her off in the distance, and he said, she looks cute. And so he had the team photographer zoom in on her. And I said, yeah, confirmed. I think she's pretty cute. And so he gets a ball, writes his phone number on it, throws it up to her, and said, text me. She comes to the next game, throws him a ball back with her number and says, no, you text me. And so he did. The rest is history. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Merrill. He said she doesn't believe him, but that was the first time that he's ever thrown a girl a ball with his number on it.
They never believe you.
Well, they probably shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, look, sure, shoot your shot if you're a big leaguer, and hey, like to get to know you a little bit. Here's my number. Reach out to you.
And you look like Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah, absolutely. Either way, right? I think you're pretty. You think I'm handsome. Whatever. We can throw balls at each other all we want, but. If he says it's the first time, yeah, okay, sure, not a chance.
Yeah,
But
I
do you
definitely,
think it's
I
creepy
definitely
to zoom in?
don't believe the first time. I think the zoom in a little creepy. A little creepy. There's a little bit to that, I would say.
Hey, camera guy over there, would you go zoom in on that
Okay,
girl
but-
in the
but
third
here-
row over
here's-
there?
here's the-
You
here's
have
the
to
only
see
thing
if
that
you
I'll
use
throw
the
I'm
on
right
top
doing
of it.
your Buffalo Bill voice.
We were talking about this last week. Athletes don't have to say much. Like what was the Tiger Woods
Just
was
tell them
hanging
you're
out.
Tiger
Tell 'em
Woods
you're
and ask them if
Tiger
they'd like
Woods.
to have a seat.
Michael
you see
Thompson.
me pitching over there? I'm Tyler Glasnow.
John Island was talking about Michael when he met his wife. It was I am Michael Thompson. I play for the Lakers.
I'm a Laker.
That's
Yeah.
that's part of your opening line. I'm sure that's his.
But I want your good Buffalo Bill voice, by the way. But if he just said, "Hey, the woman in the red hat," she looks like she's cute. Get a better picture of her so I can see it more clearly.
If
That's
she's
not
cute.
creepy.
A little cute. A little creepy.
Why?
I was gonna say I'm with you.
Why?
Okay, I've done it. I've done that. Okay, so my buddy Jeremy, who's a camera guy on we're on set. There was a girl in the audience. He's like, "Hey man, can you zoom in?" And he gave me the description of this girl: yellow shirt, hair this way. Can you zoom in on her so I can see her on my preview from my camera? Because his angle he was off.
Yeah.
So I did that. I zoom in, and he's like, "Oh yeah, she's kind of cute." To this day, Jeremy and I forget her name. They're still together.
No way.
Yeah, it's been like 6 years. Till this day, they're still together.
I could see
Not creepy at
also
all.
a world in which Tyler could have gone to like a PR person, like a promotions person.
Yes.
You pick someone out of the crowd,
Yes.
give them a T-shirt or something.
Sure.
Hey, would you mind going to see that person in Section 3? Hey, are you here with your boyfriend or something like that too?
Oh, I bet
It's
you
a
that's
good
not
way
a huge
to-
deterrent if you're a big leaguer.
Oh, that's also true. Yeah, it doesn't really. There's a.
Yeah, that's your boyfriend. Yeah, cool. You want to come sit in the dugout? Yeah, we got better seats over here.
But when I rewatch the Sam Hartman throwing the football video over and over again, that is not creepy.
I was going to say, it's just, I want to see. Now, if it was, all right, now go 2 seats to your left. All right, now go to the pavilion. That's creepy. But it's just,
And
hey,
also
she's
it's
pretty. Give me a better look.
Zoom in where? And there's also a little creepy.
Of course that. But come on.
All right, so Who's Cold is going to be Kevin Harlan and Jamal Murray. So not only I'm going to play Kevin Harlan's call at the end of the first half yesterday.
So
it was kind
good.
of crazy. The Nuggets went on an 8-0 run. Basically, they went from being up like 10 points to being up 15 points in the half, and kind of the game was over after that point. But Kevin Harlan, earlier before that game, was honored as, he was the first official voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves 35 years ago. So he's returning back to Minnesota. I mean, he's been there before, but returning back in this playoff stage, and he was calling this game. And so this is the call of Kevin Harlan at the end of the first half.
Edwards.
lost the ball with a turnover. Nice Denver D. Porter at the other end, and he tries and he gets it to go. Beating the clock. Court length. That's intercepted. Murray good at the goal. Got it! A big-time three! 8-0 run. A Reggie Miller run in the final 15 seconds of the first half.
And if you weren't happening to be watching it at the time, too, it's a amazing shot. You see Jamal Murray turn, because he hit it right in front of the announcer's table, turn, stand in front of Kevin Harlan, kind of just like, you're going to call that? You're going to call that on me? And then Kevin Harlan kind of meeting him with that same energy, just like basically yelling this, calling this in Jamal's face, which is so cool. Reggie Miller's right next to him, saying the Reggie Miller style end of half. It was a fantastic call, fantastic moment between Jamal and Kevin.
Jamal Murray talked about it after the game, and somebody had asked him, like, were you doing that on purpose because the broadcasters were there? He's like, well, I can't plan for anything. I just churned, and where I shot the shot happened to be, behind half court, whatever it was right in front of him. That was one of the coldest moments I've seen today. Think about that for a quick second. He hits that shot, and while the broadcaster's going crazy, he just stands in front of him like, I just hit a 60-footer. Any thoughts?
It was
it's
awesome.
Yeah.
It was just like, and this is how you know Kevin Harlan is one of the best at his entire gig. The basketball, football doesn't really matter. He meets the moment exactly what that Murray makes the 60-footer. Is that what you said out? And it's just perfect. And he nails it. The energy is right. Go back a few years ago when he's calling Monday Night Football and that squirrel got loose on the field. Remember that? And he did the play-by-play of the squirrel.
He met a cat.
It might have been a cat.
Yeah.
It might have been a cat. But he's doing the play-by-play of the animal running, and it's funny. Like, he can go high, serious, dramatic. He can be goofy and funny, that's how you know.
How about just, this was a couple months ago, maybe even a month ago or so, somebody threw a chicken wing on the floor, and that was him doing the broadcast in just a Sacramento Kings game, and he stops and says, how can you throw a chicken? Do you know how good chicken wings are? Like, he just there was doesn't matter what you throw at him, he's obviously going to find a way to improvise.
Yeah, he's a pro.
It's him and Mike Breen that I think
They're
players mostly really want to hear their reaction. So I know that, I can't remember who it was, but I think this year was did almost the same thing, but to Mike Breen, and it's like, are you going to do that bang? Because you always want that bang after your shot.
What was it? What's his name? Nephart, the guy that made the shot for Indiana? Is that the last name? I'm blowing it. The guy that hit the 30-footer to beat the Knicks. I think it's Gephardt, Nephart. It's something like that.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The Breen bang on that one was off the chart. So clean, so simple, one word, one syllable, and when it gets knocked down, that's what you're waiting for. You're waiting for that bang.
Nebhard.
Nebhard. By the way, that guy takes that shot 100 times. How many does he make it?
Jamal Murray?
No. Nebhard.
Oh.
2? 2 out of 100?
2 out of 100.
3?
5 out of 100.
5 out of 100. Okay. Yeah. He made it when it mattered.
Yep.
Made it when it mattered. Who's hot, who's cold is brought to you by NextGen, the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3NEXGEN. That's 833-3NEXTGen, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Chiefs and Ravens will open the season now. Thursday Night Football, the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs will host the Baltimore Ravens. And can I just give you the preview of what this is going to be?
Play it out.
Here's what it's going to be. The Chiefs will look, and there we go.
And Taylor Swift will be there. Don't forget.
That's right. I didn't even think of that. Taylor Swift will be there, and they'll be like, they got a long way to go if they're going to make it 3 in a row.
They lost a step.
Right. Lamar Jackson will look amazing. This could be Lamar's year. Fast forward 4 months. Lamar Jackson lays an egg. Patrick Mahomes is holding up the trophy again, and we're all like, yeah, there it is again.
The highlight of the game.
It's good. Look,
okay. You can pick, and I know it doesn't matter. It's the first game. You could pick any matchup in the NFL.
KC
and
Bills.
Bills is interesting because they always, but
don't you put that late in the season?
Cincinnati, maybe.
Yeah.
I want it to be a division or a conference game because it could have postseason repercussions. Baltimore's not a bad choice.
I don't know if it's on the schedule. Probably
San Francisco.
I was going to say that would be my first.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
San Francisco would be good.
KC and the Niners.
Yeah. We'll see.
I feel like they don't usually do a rematch of the Super Bowl in the very first game of the season.
I like that San Francisco has been on the 1-inch line, 2 of the last 3 years, and they can't get there.
Yeah.
It's a real shame.
I'll be back.
That really sucks.
I'll be back, and I'll make sure I win. I'm going to be back.
You see how much it's tearing me apart, Jorge? The Dump's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
Today, yes, it's time for the dump.
Another infomercial here. You guys remember the that one hose that comes in
I love.
And then you turn on the water and
Yep.
it expands
Yep.
as long as you want, and then once you finish watering,
It shrinks again.
shrinks
That
back.
thing changed the game.
That
in the
thing's
hose
awesome.
machine.
Okay, so Brenda's dad is in a wheelchair, and he bought one. He ran over it. The thing got holes on it. He's like, this is a waste of money.
Oh, no.
Dog.
So we didn't get the one off of TV, but I bought one similar to that at
They're good.
at Home Depot. Mine got all crusty and did not last. When it was brand new, pretty cool. But after a while, because it sits outside and it gets all beat
Everybody's
up.
got like the old school hoses, right? First off, they started selling the thing where you can wrap the
We've
thing
got one of
up.
those.
Okay, you saw it up, right?
I remember from the ceviche.
Yeah.
I think everybody had one of those. But one little
kink in the hose.
We're done.
Yeah.
And then, okay, now you got to take the whole entire hose out. Or, even worse, you get one little hole. It's like, all right, you just basically, you're allowing the one hole to lose as much as you can, and then you're just, whatever I can get out of the middle here.
God, that's when the duct tape save
Flex
for the
seal.
day. Right, flex. Yeah, build a boat and fix your hose, for sure. Happy 38th birthday to the most recent Batman, Robert Pattinson. Turns 38. He's also a Twilight guy.
Twilight Batman, yeah.
This is the skin of a killer, Bella.
Is that his line?
That is a line. As if you could outrun me.
Is Bella his love interest?
Yes.
Okay.
He is a everlasting vampire, does not age. He's forever 17. 'Cause that's when he was turned into a vampire. Back in like the original plague, the one that happened in Spanish flu. So
Okay.
he was dying of Spanish flu. His adopted father, turns him into a vampire, and then he is in the search of his partner, and he has a really strong sense. He can smell humans, and Bella's scent is so much more strong.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they play baseball later on in the movie.
Oh, that's right. You always make the baseball reference for sure. I'm not going to lie. I have
He's the love of my life.
little bit of an intrigue in seeing that guy play baseball. I have a feeling it doesn't look great.
Okay, no, it's not supposed to look like baseball. He also doesn't hit the. He doesn't hit.
I believe that.
He's catching, and then they fly in the air and they bump into each other. They're running really fast.
Who's
And
playing
it's in the
center
woods.
field? The center fielder needs to call it.
Yeah, well, they didn't call it. That's the issue. Is that they run into each other. It's Robert Pattinson. It's his brother, but they.
He just
are
lays down
so,
a perfect bunt.
They're so strong and fast.
doing all the small
Turn 2,
things.
little 4.63 up the middle with Pattinson. Happy birthday, 63rd birthday to Dennis Rodman, who has to be certainly not the best player in NBA history, most colorful player in NBA history.
An interesting man for sure.
Oh my gosh! Look, okay,
But
I'm not
really effective basketball
Oh my
player,
gosh.
too.
I'm not trying to be dark about this at all. Are we surprised that Dennis Rodman made it to his 63rd birthday? I am a little bit. That he is here, I think is
the partying.
Dude, Dennis Rodman was getting after it for a really long time.
The Last Dance, when we get more details of him
Goes here, I go
explaining
here.
to Phil Jackson that he's got to go to Vegas, and then Phil having to explain to Jordan, I think this is good for the team because if he goes, then he gets it out of his system, and then he could come back and be Dennis Rodman.
And then they had to go retrieve him from Vegas.
to go get him.
Basically fish him out of the Las Vegas pond to reinsert him back into the lineup.
I remember Rodman when he got married. He dressed as the bride.
Yeah.
That's when I first knew about Rodman.
Okay.
Was he a Bull then or a San Antonio Spur?
I don't remember. Here's what I remember about that. I was working for Rome at that time, and we had a pretty good relationship with it. Nobody was able to get Dennis when you'd book an interview at 10:30. Dennis wasn't showing up at 10:30 on the schedule. That's just not how it worked. But occasionally, we would constantly try to get him, and his guy would say, hey, I got him right now if you want to do it right now. So we would put him on a case 2 or 3 times a year, enough that we had a relationship with him. Out of the blue, he calls us one day and says, hey, I'm getting married tomorrow in New York City. And we're like, to who? He's like, I really would rather not say. But he was doing the whole, I think it was for his book. Or there was some promotion
Promoting
to
something.
He used us big time.
He used everybody.
But we had the show, right? Like it was the show of record for sports talk radio. And we're like, Dennis Rodman calls the Jim Rome show, says he's getting married in New York City tomorrow, and he shows up in his dress to promote his book.
I mean,
it's like, come on, man.
pretty good on him.
Pretty on brand.
Pretty smart.
Pretty on brand.
But we're like,
By the way, his daughter Trinity
Oh,
is
yeah.
one of the highest paid women's soccer players right now, professional women's soccer players. I think she signed, at least when right out of high school, a $1 million deal with Washington Spirit, I think.
Really?
Yeah, no, she's on the U.S. women's national
Striker, right?
team. Yeah, she's
Striker.
a striker. She played in the World Cup, the most recent World Cup. She's amazing. I don't think that they have a very close relationship, but they are.
Dennis
she's
would
great.
be a tricky dad to have, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best way of putting that. Stevie Wonder turns 74 today. We all agree that he can see?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's one of the long-running debates.
I've seen him perform before.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah, I saw him perform with Dave Matthews Band in Charlottesville. He was the surprise at the end, so we saw both Coldplay was a surprise, and Stevie Wonder was a surprise, and it was really, really cool.
Who's the story? Who tells the story? Is it?
I think it's the one you think was Shaq. Yeah, Shaq.
They're in the same building, right? And they're in the parking garage. I want to say elevator, going up to wherever they're going up
Shaq's
to.
in the elevator.
Yeah.
It comes up. The doors open. Stevie walks onto the elevator and says, "What's up, Shaq?"
But also blindness is a spectrum.
Yeah, I think
so. You guys don't know this. Stevie Wonder can see. He is not 100% blind.
It's a spectrum.
There's go down this rabbit hole. You guys like to do that, and you will find.
See the one where we grab the mic stand?
Yeah, story after story of Stevie Wonder. A friend of mine lived in his building and saw him moving a car, like from one
behind the
side
wheel?
of the garage, behind the wheel, moving a car. So he can see. I don't think he drives out on the street, but
Right.
he just needed to get out of a parking space. But he can absolutely
Have
see.
you ever seen him? I know you go see a lot of
Oh,
it.
yeah. Well, how many stories do you want to hear, Trav?
Give me your number one Stevie Wonder
I'll
story.
give you two.
Okay.
All right. Here's the first one. One day, before I was the radio play-by-play guy, I was the sideline guy for the Lakers. And I'm working a game, and I look over to my left, and there's Stevie Wonder, 20 feet from me to the left. And Spiro and Michael are doing the game. And back then, I was doing double duty. I was doing hits on TV, and I was doing hits on the radio.
Okay.
So I had one ear listening to radio and one ear listening to TV, and I had set times where I was going to go on. And so I go to Darren Chan, our engineer, and I say, "Hey, DC, do you have a separate audio device like the one you give me? I'm going to offer it to Stevie Wonder so he can follow the game." And he goes, "Yeah, sure." So I give it to him, and Stevie Wonder takes it, and Michael and Spiro start talking about him on the air. Michael goes, "I've been listening to Stevie Wonder so long. He was little Stevie when I started talking to him." And Stevie Wonder's laughing, and it's great. And I'm doing, both jobs. I'm running around, and I look over in the middle of the third quarter, and he's gone. And he never gave me the thing back, the IFB hookup back. And these things cost like over $1,000. And Darren Chan, the engineer, owns this personally, and he is going to kill me. But I think he's gone, so I don't know what to do. And I text Michael Roth, and I go, "Code Red, come see me." Roth comes over. I tell him that story. He goes, "I'll find out if he's still in the building." And, so I keep doing it. And with like 2 minutes to go in the game, Roth walks up to me with this smile on his face and takes it out of his pocket and hands it to me. He goes, "He was in the Lexus Club." I go, "He just stuck it in his pocket and forgot."
Oh, man.
All right, so that's the first story. Here's the second story. One of the guys I've played golf with in the past fairly frequently is Samuel L. Jackson, the actor. He used to be a member at Mountain Gate. I probably played with him 10 times. I go into New York one night, and I get a text from a friend of mine, and he says, "I'm at Sam Jackson's 70th birthday party, and Stevie Wonder's playing, and it's 3 blocks from your hotel." And it's like, we just flown in from another city. It's 10 o'clock. I said, "How much longer is he playing?" He goes, "He just got on, and he's going to go for at least an hour." And I thought to myself, do I crash it or not? What would you have done, Trav?
You know Sam Jackson at this point.
I do. I did not get
And
an
it's
invite.
his party?
Yeah.
I think you got to shoot him a quick text or a call and ask. I don't think you
Slee,
can
what
just
would
show
you do?
up.
I'm trying to go in. I'm trying.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I didn't. I stayed in the hotel.
Yeah.
I didn't know him well enough. My entire relationship with him was 10 rounds of golf and a couple of dinners when one of our golfing friends was like going out of town.
Right.
So I knew him. I had his number. But and then at this party was like Magic Johnson and
Yeah, you can't.
Cheadle's
can't.
there and all
You
this
can't.
all these really and I just imagine what it'd be like if I walked in and they said, "Can I help you?" "Yeah, I'm friends with Sam. I'm here to see Stevie
What's your
Wonder."
name again?
Do you regret not trying at all? No.
I'm not that guy. Mason would have done it. Mason would have just found a way to get in.
I think, as we've discovered, I think I would have done the same thing you did. The
Yeah.
one thing I might have done is say, "Hey, Sam, listen, I heard you're having this party. Is there any I'm just down the street. Any chance I can swing through?"
But I don't think Sam at his own birthday party would have been checking his
Oh,
phone.
yeah, probably not.
Now,
but
I
that
saw
would have
him.
been my
I
prayer.
saw him later.
Yeah, I would have.
I saw him after that, and he goes, "Oh, you should have come." I go, "Of
Yeah,
course."
yeah.
But I didn't have the heart to show up. am one of those people that cannot show up uninvited to anything. If I'm not invited, I'm not going.
Mace, how do you feel about that?
No, Mace would have gone in. Mace would
shows up. I don't show up uninvited.
No, you've heard me tell that story before. When I was in New York and it was Sam Jackson's 70th birthday and Stevie Wonder was playing, and I got a text that it was 2 blocks from my hotel.
Oh yeah.
And I knew him. I had played golf with him a bunch, and I said, should I go try and crash it? It's Stevie Wonder at a private party, and I decided not to. But I thought you probably would have had the guts to do it.
Two things. First of all, no. And second of all, I just told her I've never been a Stevie Wonder fan at all.
Oh, really? Yeah, you're not a Motown guy either. You don't like that kind of music. No. But I think Stevie Wonder has like 50 hits that you forget about until you
Would you have
start playing
crashed
them
it
again.
to tell him that you don't like his
No,
music?
I would not. I would not.
Shaq
Hello,
told Jokic that
hello,
he
Mr.
didn't like
Wonder,
that
not
he
a
won.
fan.
Yeah, just want to say happy birthday. And,
Yeah, Mason has an eclectic musical taste. Doesn't love the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, not a Rolling Stones. I'm not a classic rock guy. Not really a Motown guy.
What's left?
Modern rock and 80s music.
Yacht rock.
Oh, yacht rock now. Yeah, yacht rock now.
Do you think he bought? We could do it coming up.
We're going to do. I have a quick broadcasting question for you, like play by play.
Okay.
How many places do you go? I know where you sit at Crypto.
Right.
Are you on? How often are you on the floor calling a game?
4 times out of 30.
Okay.
4 teams out of 30.
And it used to be a lot more, right?
When I started, it was 20.
Okay, so you're down to 4.
Yeah, now even Stu and Billy are getting moved up because those seats are too expensive.
When you are calling your game down there, are you aware that the players can hear you?
Yes.
Because when, for instance, what happened with Jamal Murray and Kevin Harlan, where are you cognizant? Is that happening?
Oh, yeah. I've said stuff when, like, D'Angelo Russell's waiting to check into the game. I go, D'Angelo Russell would be next whistle. I wish he would shoot more. And he would look at me. He'll look at me with kind of a sly smile. He goes, I got you. Yeah. You know.
You really had to tell D'Angelo to shoot more?
Well, nobody else was shooting. Yeah, I told Mace that's like. Spencer Dinwiddie to me is a great guy. I don't understand why he didn't shoot more.
Yeah.
You know, and if the Lakers bring him back, that's what I'm going to tell him. You're here to score. Shoot more.
Get it up in the air. You know what we should do, Jorge? Supercross time.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Woo, woo, woo. Successful Mother's Day weekend?
It was. It was.
I went down and saw my mom on Saturday. We celebrated on Saturday. She's in the middle of a move, so I helped her move all day, and then we went to dinner. Which was fun.
Moving is a thing.
Well, she's been very good to me in that regard. It's her first move in 50 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So it's easy.
You only do it once every 50 years.
So it was easy.
Was she still in the house you grew up in?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, we moved there when I was in high school.
Okay.
We moved there.
Okay.
So not quite 50, more like
Did
40.
you find a bunch of old stuff that was like your stuff?
Oh, yeah.
You have brothers and sisters?
One.
Okay.
Younger brother, but I'm not very nostalgic, so I threw most
rid of
it
a
out.
lot of stuff?
Yeah.
I am super nostalgic.
I like looking at it once and then...
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, Trav, you and me. Same
I
boat.
have all that stuff somewhere in boxes or in crates in my
At your house now or
storage
back in?
facility.
Oh.
No, my own. I have a little storage place in my house.
Do you have like a storage offsite facility?
No, I do not. We brought all of that stuff to the house and realized most of it we just threw away.
That's
like
what I did this
90%
weekend.
of the storage unit just went in the trash.
We had one for the longest time, and we're paying this bill every month. And
Right.
we never take any. All we do
Well,
is put more stuff
people
in
that
it, just
own
throw it away.
People that own public storage facilities make a killing.
Yes.
The number one donor at USC is the guy who invented public storage, Wayne Hughes.
Yep.
Not a bad way to do it.
Right.
No.
They're always below freeways or like random locations. They pay nothing probably
It
to
might
build
be
the
the
facility.
single greatest
I agree.
waste of money. Sir, like I used
Good
to tell
TV show.
I used-
American Pickers
I
comes
used
out
to
of
tell
that.
Juan, I
That's
said,
fun.
"Yo, I've got furniture in there. I've got something from I got this." We open it up, just boxes
Yeah,
of crap.
90% of the
Boxes
stuff
crap.
you don't need.
Yeah.
How about you, Mace? Good weekend?
Yeah, really good weekend. My mom and not stepdad Leo here, Juan's mom and his stepdad were here. We all went to see this great Broadway show called Come From Away at the Pantages Theater, which was really cool. And then we went to across the street. There's the Astor Hotel right on Hollywood Boulevard with like really cool views, Hollywood sign, Capitol Records building, all that stuff. It was very cool.
Do you have like drinks over there?
Yeah, drinks. Yeah, well,
who doesn't like that?
Yeah, I had a couple old fashions. I was good.
There you go.
Yeah.
No martinis?
No martinis.
You're not back on the horse
Not back
yet?
on the No, not back on the martinis.
So we were talking earlier today about whether or not we ever got hooked by infomercials. That apparently Slee's dad was an infomercial guy, that he would get talked into
I did a
things.
few times, like the power washer.
Oh, you
know,
got
I fell for that one. I'm trying to think of.
Okay,
We
the
bought,
set it and forget it.
Well, you know,
Right, I remember that one.
Ronco
The
Peel
chicken,
oven.
the chicken
so,
machine.
So
The
one day,
rotisserie
I used to play basketball at Sports Club LA, and one day I'm walking in and I see one of my buddies. He goes, "Hey, John, do you know Ron Papil?"
Oh, yeah.
And I went, like, you're the oven guy. And he goes, yep.
He was playing hoops with you guys?
No, he was just working out there.
Oh.
But apparently it turned him into a multimillionaire.
Oh, yeah.
That
He
thing
locked
was
up on
That thing was
man-to-man
like
defense.
incredibly popular.
He invented everything. He invented that one where you make the spiral vegetable.
Oh,
you
the
take a,
turn
the
zucchini
thing
into
and
spaghetti noodles.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. He did that
He
one.
told me a story.
He did do the spray on hair. I talked about
I
it.
thought
He
so.
did the spray on hair.
Yeah.
He told me a story
Karen.
once. I've never confirmed it, but he said that he knows all those infomercial guys, and he said that one of the infomercial people he worked with, they wanted to do a deal with Hulk Hogan, and they wanted to do a deal with George Foreman. So they went to Hulk first, and they said, "Okay, we got two things." He goes, one is a reversible jacket or something, something that we think is going to be really popular, and then the other one is a grill. And Hulk Hogan goes, "I'll do the jacket." They gave the grill to Foreman. Foreman made millions. The jacket, or whatever it was.
I
whatever
haven't
they
seen
gave
a lot
Hulk.
of Hulk Hogan reversible
Yeah,
jackets. on the
and by the
street.
way, I've got that wrong. It's not but whatever product they offered Hulk never,
By the way,
never took
we
off.
still have. We don't, but I've seen the George Foreman grill still gets
everywhere.
used at Juan's mom's house. They still have the
I think
Foreman
they still
grill.
sell them. So when I was working for Jim, one of the houses he lived a million houses ago, he comes home. He's telling me the story. He was looking for a new place, and they went through this one house, and it was owned by the daughter of Ron Popeil. Okay. And one of the things was when Jim was looking at this house is you go look whatever you want, but you can't go in the garage. That's where their next top secret project is being prototyped. So you have to stay out of the garage, right? So what's the first thing you do?
Go to the garage.
Go to the garage,
Exactly.
right? So and it looks like it's like a deconstructed lawnmower. Like he has no idea. It's like that's the top
it's like
secret thing.
in the James Bond movies where you went to Q,
Right, you go to Q, and she says,
working on like nine different
Here are
things.
the pieces of gun that turn into bombs and stuff
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I got hooked on the. Susan and I were up late one night. We're flipping through the channels. And the Time Life series of music and books,
Oh, sure. Well, you get all the number one hits on one CD?
Well, close. It was the love ballads of the 1980s.
Oh, yeah.
That was all of your favorite hits, all 25 hits that you know, but you had to buy all, 4 or 5 CDs. You get like 200 songs and you know 10 of them.
Right.
And it was $100
So
or
I
whatever
saw
it
this
was.
today on what are we calling it? X now? Or are we still calling it Twitter?
Yeah, we're still calling it Twitter.
All right.
Formerly known as X.
You-
No, the other way around.
It's a list of things.
Close enough.
You
Yeah.
might be old if. Okay. 1 point for every one of these things.
Hit me.
And there are probably 20 of them.
You got 17.
You might be old if you can't read.
19.
this.
19
All
of
right,
20.
So figure out, see if you guys can figure it out
Okay.
with. All right. Used a rotary phone. We have
Yeah.
all done that, right? Slee, you?
Yep.
You ever use a rotary phone?
Rotary phone.
You might have missed
Dial-
that.
the finger.
With
No.
the dial? Okay.
Slee,
so
okay,
you're
no.
over.
By the way, can I just do the
Yeah.
first one that you might be old? The size of your text there too.
Ah, that's so funny.
well,
you
Slee-
do have the multi. Yeah,
No,
big
I
size
made it bigger.
text.
That's the normal size. I just
okay,
made it
okay.
bigger
Oh,
to
okay.
read.
Well,
But that's
so-
still pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
big. Yeah.
All
But,
right.
okay, so that's number one. Used a floppy disk.
2.
I
Yep.
have.
2.
Yep.
Used a typewriter. Slee, you ever use a typewriter?
3.
I did. I had
Yep.
multiple typewriters. Taken pictures with a film camera.
4.
Slee?
Yes.
Okay. Listen to music on a CD.
Yeah.
5.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Everybody.
Made a mixtape.
6.
Owned a Walkman.
7.
Listened to music on a boombox.
8.
Watched a movie on VHS.
9.
Yep.
Rented a movie from Blockbuster.
10.
Yep.
Learned cursive.
11.
Yep. Forgot
Played
it.
an Atari game console.
12.
12.
All right, so there may be 24. Okay. Sent or received a fax.
13.
Yes.
I sold fax machines as my first
Oh,
job.
wow.
Yeah.
Had a MySpace account.
Yep.
Yeah. No, Travis, never.
No,
Never
me
had-
either. That's
never-
the one.
Never had
I
MySpace.
never. You had a MySpace account?
I did have a MySpace.
Mace has been on every
MySpace
form
account.
of social media.
Absolutely.
ever
Never
invented.
had that.
All right, now here's one that I did a lot. Ordered from Columbia House. Remember, you get the 6 records
penny?
for a penny.
I never did that
And
one.
then they
did that.
sent you some.
I know what it
And
is.
then
Never
they'd
did
send
it.
you one automatically every month.
And,
And
it
if,
was impossible to cancel.
and if you didn't remember to send it back, then you were screwed.
You got charged the
Yeah,
full boat.
charged for it.
Okay.
Biggest racket in the world. Had an AOL email address. I
Yep.
did.
I never
Well,
did.
14
Never
for
did.
me.
Okay. Accessed the internet via dial-up.
15.
Yes.
Yep, me too. Owned an encyclopedia.
7, 16.
Yeah. Used a phone book.
Yes.
17.
Sent a postcard.
18.
Yeah.
Used a paper map.
Oh, yeah. 19.
Yeah.
Owned a dictionary.
That's
Yes.
20.
Written a check.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Still do.
Yeah,
21.
still do.
Last one. Uncurled a telephone cord.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
22.
So you were the same as me. The only one I hadn't done was have a MySpace account.
MySpace and Columbia House. are the
Columbia
only two I
House,
didn't
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do Columbia House, but
Slee was the only one that broke late, and so you were at probably 5 or 6 of those things you hadn't
Jorge
done,
and I
right?
would be on like a similar page, right?
Right, about the
40,
same.
something like
Yeah.
you missed
Yeah.
all floppy disks. You never had floppy disk
floppy
time?
disks we did.
Did you ever have a Thomas guide? Do you know what a Thomas guide
Oh,
is?
yeah.
Okay.
That was
I mean,
a joke. That was
I still can't read.
G4.
I
Go to
swore-
page
I swore
705.
by that thing.
Did
I
you
know,
ever get
but-
lost?
But I would just pull it out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It worked perfectly.
Oh, but I mean, you turn a page
No
and then
idea.
you'd open the page
You go to
and
the
then you'd
big
open
map,
the
and
page
you go
again.
to
and
the
then
little
say,
map.
go to this page.
Yes, yeah.
You go to
Oh,
the
it was
other
terrible.
I didn't know it was upside down. I'm like, I don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
what
no,
this
that's
is.
great. Thomas
Okay,
Guide. I can't
John,
believe it
John,
worked.
just to hit on this, Hulk Hogan explained in 2011.
Oh, good. What was the? It wasn't a
said
jacket.
that
What
he
was it?
Chose. I wish it was a jacket.
Yeah.
Chose to endorse the Hulkamania meatball maker instead of the grill.
Oh, the meatball maker, sure.
And it never took off, right?
That mistake wound up costing him hundreds of millions of dollars.
Now-
George Foreman made
Hundreds
of
of
millions.
You know what they use now for meatball makers?
Your hands?
This. They just
Yeah.
go like this and they dump it in the
But you
sauce.
never
I mean,
know,
seriously.
You never know when an idea is going to take off. I remember, because Mason's a big movie guy, when we first started, talking about being old, when we first started, if you wanted to go to the movies, back in the mid-'90s when Mason and I began, you looked in the paper at the movie listings.
calendar section.
So one day we're doing a show. This may be the first year we were together, like 94 maybe. I look at Mason and I go, Mace, you love movies. Look at this stupid. I go, how did this movie get made? I mean, it drives me crazy that there are talented writers and producers driving around here with good scripts, and then this movie comes out today and he goes, what's the movie? I go, look at this idiot. Ace Ventura Pet Detective. The combined Ace Ventura movies made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
By the way, that's a fair one to say. Look at this idiot. I mean,
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah.
I thought
Carrie's
the movie
pretty
was
funny.
hilarious.
And Jim Carrey was holding up a license and
Like
it
a
said to
badge.
serve and protect your pets. And I went, this movie is going to fly. And
What if
made
I told you
hundreds
it
of
was
millions.
a Courtney Cox movie
Yeah.
where Jim Carrey talks out of his butt?
Yeah.
Go
Right.
ahead, because
And
that's
Dan-
what it is.
Dan
Dan
Marino's
Marino's
in
in
it.
it.
Yeah.
Laces out, Dan.
Right. And now
You
we
never
all
know.
we all quote from it.
Well,
So you never
look,
know.
They have their moments too. What was the blanket with the arm? The Snuggie, right?
Oh, sure.
Did you ever order a Snuggie?
I never ordered a Snuggie.
We had them. I think
Trav,
everyone
the
in my
Pet
house.
Rock made money.
So did the Snuggie. Like, there's
Yeah.
it just has to be that thing. It's like, it has to be priced right. If it's 20, I'll take it. If it's 50, not doing that.
Did you ever buy
20?
the knives?
Never. I wanted the knives.
I
The
would've
knives
thought
look
you
like
got
they
the
cut
knives.
everything.
You can cut a boot and
Yeah,
a brick.
no, exactly.
And then
that
a
and then
tomato.
you can apparently like put tar in one of those pans, and it'll just come right out. It's amazing.
I'd like to try it.
My dad bought that.
When I got a job
The pan
at
of tar?
pan.
Oh,
when I got a
pan.
job at KCAL, they were telling me that the original 3 sportscasters at KCAL when they launched that channel were Gary Cruz, rest in peace, Tom Murray, my buddy in New York, and a guy named Joe Fowler. Joe was the weekday guy. And Joe left the business First, he got the job as. Do you remember the TV show Coach?
Yeah, right.
With
Barry Kemp's
Craig
show.
T. Nelson.
Yeah.
So, do you remember that Shelley Fabre, who was the girlfriend of
Coach
of the coach, was a news anchor?
Oh,
so
I
he
didn't
would
know
go
that.
visit
Okay.
her at the TV station, and the sports guy there was Joe Fowler.
Oh, that's cool.
So he got that job, and once he got into that world, he started doing infomercials, like we're talking about,
Like VOs?
No, like he was the guy. Like here,
Pitchman?
this spaghetti pasta maker and he probably got, I don't know, 30 or 40 of them, and left TV news completely and made a fortune.
Here's my question:
being an infomercial
Do you
host.
get a piece of the action?
Yeah, well, I mean, he got paid to.
You get paid like scale probably,
Right,
and
but
then
yeah,
a piece
and
of
I
the
think that's-
Sales, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh.
You get a
I never
dollar.
asked him. I don't know, and I only met him once. But I thought, what a weird career turn. You know, like I had climbed really hard to try and get to L.A.
Well,
I
that
get to
was the
LA,
job.
and this guy leaves to go do infomercials and then dwarfs all of us in terms of salary.
Set it and forget it,
Yeah.
Island.
There you
Super
go.
Crosstalk was brought to you by In-N-Out. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger's all about.